The opening siren of the season for Port Adelaide and Glenelg, and a big day for Port Adelaide and coach Russell Ebert today, celebrating 433 games. That's an Australian League record. Centre of the ground, free kick already going Glenelg's way, and they'll boom it up towards half forward. Peter Carey won the toss. He's kicked towards the Anzac Highway end. Stephen Kernahan up high, couldn't bring it down. Players will go to ground. Copping knocks it out the back. McDermott, a hurried snap off the ground. McGuiness, Kernahan.
Cleared by Fiachi, gets it quickly onto Owens on the half-back line, into the centre again for Port Adelaide. Russell, a quick handball to Bradley, and Port Adelaide into attack for the first time. Ebert across the ground, grabs it beautifully, onto Owens, who's moved down from the half-back line, pops it in short, and Port Adelaide settle down at the centre half-forward line, and Stephen Williams will line up for their first shot.
Robert George Fiachi playing on the wing.
Stephen Williams, 23 years of age. 65 games to his credit as he lines up with just a little against the breeze. A beautiful straight shot to give Port the opening break. One goal, Glenelg get to score.
Yes, well, it was all Port Adelaide then. They shared the ball between 2 and 3 and 4 players to finally find a short pass on to the boy who just finished up with that particular goal. Stephen Williams, number 10, playing out of a pocket. He lost me a bit there. He usually ruck rows from a half-forward flank or even plays permanent back pocket, but he got the goal, and a very quick start by Port Adelaide.
Should be a great clash in ruck today. Peter Carey up against Russell Johnston. Johnston, of course, missing quite a bit of last season through injury. The bounce favoured Carey, couldn't do much with it. McDermott, he's caught by Dwayne Russell. And the umpire will bounce up in the centre square, and Dwayne Russell's gone down heavily. There'll be a yike on.
Is there ever?
Tension in pre-season games, but just about all players involved in the melee in the centre square.
And Henwood has been reported.
Reminiscent of the game 2 years ago at the Bay when David Holtz and Tony Giles clashed around about the same spot, actually, Keith.
Wayne Henwood in his first game
pinched, does he?
For the Glenelg side. By the look of it, the umpire came up, turned him around, had a look, and that's where the free kick's being paid. Bradley will move it down towards Russell Ebert at the full forward position. Down go the players again.
Paid the neck. He's paid neck.
Indeed, it's Phil Harrison who gets up with the ball and the free kick. He's only about 20 metres out. Port Adelaide get a chance to put another one on the board. And the umpire fairly quick to find a free as the ball went down that time. It was 3 or 4 stoushes developed early on, and the umpires will want to reassert authority very early. Harrison's first shot looks good. Port Adelaide, 2 straight goals. Glenelg get the score.
Well, I can't say I saw the free kick there, fellas, but there was a melee of players in the square, and Phil Harrison emerged with a free kick, supposedly around the neck. I guess there was something there, but it could have been half and half. I felt he had possession of the ball as he was tackled, but only the umpire can interpret the way he saw the incident, and Phil Harrison gets what you might call a gift goal.
During that back to the centre bounce, and Peter Carey, the captain of Glenelg, had a long talk to the umpires during that last goal. But Port will take it away from centre again. Williams' handball is intercepted by Simons. Wobbly old kick towards Seabone. Smith from behind for Port scores away. Out towards Walsh. He'll do battle with Bradley. Bradley's first to it. He goes to ground, recovers first, however. The whistle's gone and Bradley's off. The luxury of a bounce, but he's going to be called back, I think.
Glenelg's ball.
So Glenelg will have the free kick on about their half-forward line.
Gavin Walsh.
Gavin Walsh being brought right up to that half-forward line for the free kick. And for the first time into the full forward position for Glenelg. Ball to ground. Players over it. It's cleared by Port Adelaide. It's Lawson trying to force it out for them. Mark Lawson playing in his first league game for them. Number 20 for Port Adelaide. As he comes back, you'll see he's a stocky, blonde-headed young man. But now, Johnston versus Kernahan as it's down in the pocket. McGuiness grabs it, goes down with it. Play on, says the ump. Stringer with a chance. Out to McGuiness again. And there's a great mark in defence. Darren Smith.
So Darren Smith for Port Adelaide. He's going to get himself 15 metres, the offender being Stephen Copping for the Bays. Smith's kick towards the centre of the ground. Up high looking for Russell. Henwood at the back, and umpires ruled that Wayne Henwood pushed Dwayne Russell out.
He's earned the eye of the umpire again.
It's interesting because the Bays shifted Henwood on to Dwayne Russell in the Escort Cup Series when the Bays kicked that 10-goal last quarter, and Henwood had an effect on Russell. Will he today? However, it's back to the play in the centre of the ground. The umpire's going to let play go on. Tony Hall, the handball out towards Alan Stringer. He's kicking in danger, going the way of the Bays. Back in the centre of the ground, and the Tony Hall's kick taken by Hall.
He's not too well either. Bit groggy, Tony Hall. Very courageous player, this fellow.
So Tony Hall, right from the middle of the Bay ground. Bays into attack, looking for Kernahan, but in the front, Johnston. It dropped back, a whole kick behind play, and he picks up a mark at centre-half back. Plays it on quickly. Oh, it's come unstuck. Lawson couldn't get hold of it quickly enough. Caught just out of trouble, are they? No, a free kick's been paid. Which way's it going?
Robin Kidney. Robin Kidney. I think you'll find Lawson's first rover today, Keith.
It's a big job, isn't it, against this combination from the
Sure
Bay?
is.
Robin Kidney, the first, well, maybe a scoring opportunity. He's a long way out. He's only a small fella. He should be powerfully built. It's a massive kick. It'll go right to the square. They'll set themselves. Johnston couldn't pull it down, and it's touched through. A rush score for Glenelg, their first of the day. They're 1 point, trailing Port Adelaide 2 straight goals, 12.
It's interesting that Russell Johnston is going wherever the ball is, where Peter Carey started to kick behind the play at that particular moment. And Russell Johnston really is going down into the Glenelg forward line unopposed.
Ben Harris kicks out. Another fly this time. A great mark by David Kernahan.
Strong pair of hands.
He'll turn it in 45 degrees out. I should say 45-degree angle. It's a bit further out than 45 metres. It's a beautiful kick with a little bit of breeze straight through. First goal to the Bays. They're 1-1 behind Port's 2 goals.
What a classic goal by David Kernahan. He marked the free kick in by Russell Johnston and went back, deliberated, and kicked the ball a good 50 to 60 metres, and it's with the centre. There's the mark by David Kernahan. Really strong pair of hands, this lad. He's very hard to beat in the air, and he'll have quite a height advantage over his direct opponent, George Fiarchi, today. Fiarchi, normally a rover, is playing on a wing.
5 points the difference, approaching about the 6-minute mark of the first quarter. Carey again against Johnston. Carey got that tap. Bradley scores off hands, picked it up beautifully. He's running into trouble. Marshall and Stringer grab him. And it'll be Marshall, the free kick for the Bays. Will drive them over the half-forward line. Back to the flank, to the spaces. He's heading. Copping's out on the lead. Smith behind. Good grab by Stephen Copping. Similar position from what David Kernahan just kicked his first goal. Stephen Copping's first kick of the game. Short lead was on. He'll go back and steady. The angle you can see. The drop punt looks good from this angle. He got the distance. He has the big fly in the centre square and takes through for another rush behind. So Glenelg 1 goals, 2. They're 8 points now. Port 2 straight kicks, 12.
Not renowned as a long kick for goal, Stephen Copping, but by gee, he was only half a metre out then, that jag.
Ben Harris, the fullback, kicks out for Port, a long kick towards the centre, looking for Darren Smith, firm mark. Smith at the centre half-back position, looks to go to the outer side, he does. The umpire decides that the Glenelg player ran over the mark, and he gives him 15 metres, a very generous one.
Rather tough decision that, because Peter Carey just went forward when Darren Smith decided to switch the play to the other side.
Smith plays right down the middle this time, to centre half forward. Fly from the back. Down into the pack it goes. Stephen Williams underneath for Port Adelaide. The umpire decides that he'll have it.
Very good crowd in attendance at the Bay today. If Oakbank had not been on, I think he would have struggled to get a seat down here, and why not? 2 great rivals, Port and Glenelg. Players go to ground. Russell again on the bottom of the pack, and the umpire can see no avenue of escape, and he'll bounce again on about the centre half forward position for the Bays.
It's incredibly congested there, Rick.
Carey in ruck for Glenelg. Over the top, Johnston wins it. All Bay jumpers there. Carey on the ground again. God, he works hard, doesn't he? Kidney tries to force it out, does so. Plenty of pressure there. Bradley with the ball. He's dragged off it. The umpire says another bounce, thank you. Umpire Schofield will bounce still on the half-forward line for Port Adelaide.
Johnston and Carey, no one able to take it out. Chance for David Kernahan. He's bundled off the ball. However, here's a chance for Kidney. He goes to ground, and that's not the ball according to the umpire. Bay supporters don't like it, but I think it was there. Ginniver will take the free kick for Port. Touched off hands. Play on will be the call. Carey, solid tackle. McDermott. Still Port Adelaide. Kidney and Ginniver again in on the bottom of the pack. We'll see another bounce yet on the half-forward line for Port Adelaide.
Very congested at this stage, both sides applying plenty of pressure as umpire Schofield bounces yet again. What a strong bounce. A little bit of room for David Kernahan to get a kick away. Umpire has a look, decides it was fair. Nice tap on, chance for Stringer. Ooh, a bit of elbow for his trouble. Port Adelaide in the clear at last. Craig Ebert. Ooh.
Ross Gibbs to the square. Barrett and Gibbs, the two flyers. Ross Gibbs will come down with it. We've seen him fly on many occasions. Only small, but he gets up high. Plays on quickly towards the outer side there. Bradley couldn't do anything. Barrett makes up. He's sandwiched off the ball. 2 on 1. Tony Hall couldn't do much with it. Here's his opportunity. Gets away from Ginnivan. Handball away. The umpire will bring play back. 30 metres.
What's happened to the advantage rule? Glenelg are off and away then.
Blimey, it was about the first time the ball broke clear for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Whistle happened to go. So Glenelg into attack, a long kick into the forward pocket. Kernahan in front. Johnson has a grab at it. Over the line it goes.
Once again, see how Johnson's going down for those kick-ins where Peter Carey hangs around the centre by himself, giving Glenelg the rebound player unopposed.
Dead hit in ruck. It'll come off the hands. Chance here for Smith, it looks to be. No, Anderson it was for Port Adelaide. He's got a wild left footer. That's high. Gavin Walsh from behind. Umpire's seen another free kick, so stop-start play. Bradley will pick up the free kick for Port.
Bradley was in front, interfered with. He kicks it down the outer side. Mark attempt by Barrett doesn't come off the base. Kick forward though wildly. Marshall into the middle. David Kernahan looks for Copping and finds him. Copping's second mark and second kick.
Yes, he's leading Darren Smith to the ball. Darren Smith enjoys a big height advantage over Stephen Copping. So if the ball comes in with any sort of height, Darren Smith will almost certainly mark it, but in the run of the ball, Stephen Copping has now won out twice.
Chance for the Bays to go ahead here. They're 1 goal 2. Port Adelaide 2 straight goals. Copping's kick is way off. No, not this time. Just scores a point with it. Glenelg 1-3 now against Port's 2 goals.
It's a bad miss by Steve. I feel that he was entitled to kick that goal from that position. It was directly in front, about 30 metres out.
Ben Harris at full back for Port Adelaide. Smith wants it down the middle of the ground. He's going to come grandstand side. High, looking for Simpson and Johnston. It'll come off hands. David Kernahan's second grab. He's on the bottom of the pack. The umpire will bounce up. Grandstand side at the bay. 4 points the difference first quarter. Carey got the tackle nicely ripped by Craig Ebert. Chance for George Fiarchi. He'll break through the centre of the ground. Long kick. Walsh couldn't take it. 2 grabs. Spread off brilliantly by Henwood off hands. Blooms one right up towards full forward area. Stephen Kernahan up high. McDermott off hand. Snaps towards the white points post. Where's he put it offline? So Glenelg having trouble finding the big white sticks there. 1 goal, 4-10. Port 2 straight goals, 12.
Comment on that Wayne Henwood kick, Graham.
It was a monster of a kick, wasn't it? I've never seen the boy have such a long kick before. He tends to go a little shorter than that.
Stephen Curtis, the kick-off this time for Port Adelaide, goes to the outer side. Looking for Anderson, can't find him. Johnston grabs it, fumbles, he's in trouble. Brenton Owens, the half-back now with a chance to break clear for Port Adelaide, put them into attack. Ooh, scrubby kick into the middle. And a nicely bit rid of play there. Over the top, Gavin Walsh the kick.
Courageous mark.
Walsh's kick again up high, looking for Stephen Kernahan. Ben Harris at front, spot off hands, Alan Stringer. Which way will this bounce? This could be the one that Glenelg wanted. They have, they've hit the front. 2 goal force for Glenelg. Port Adelaide, 2 straight goals.
Well, Alan Stringer read that like a rover. The ball was knocked to the ground. He whipped in. Gavin Moss projected a reasonably long kick into the forward line. Stephen Kernahan was well defended by Ben Harris. Alan Stringer rode the falling ball around his, what you might call an oblique angle to the goals, and it just wobbled through. Nice goal. Educated goal.
Carey against Johnston. The Bays had the break, or at least they've got the break now. Port Adelaide started brilliantly. 2 quick goals, but it's been Glenelg ever since. Bradley tries to turn the tide on that. Forced forward by Lawson. Now the ball's in the pack, still in the corner of the square. And Port Adelaide having trouble across the half-forward line, Graham.
They are, definitely. They're getting nothing at all out of the half-forward line just at this point in time.
Johnson, nice little tap back to Dwayne Russell. Gets a wild kick away. Ross gets a well-cut one-handed mark. Held Ginnivan down on that occasion and took it with his right hand. And he booms one screw punt. Back towards the centre of the ground. Big Simpson. John Simpson for Port Adelaide. He's got some height. Plays on quickly to Dwayne Russell.
Dwayne Russell's playing up the ground a bit here.
Dwayne Russell on the run. Over half forward, Port Adelaide go for the first time in many minutes. Here's a chance. Growden across. Ginniver can't get the ball to boot. And Glenelg will recover from here. Beautifully pushed out. Henwood with the ball. He goes down into the pack. Just over the line before Craig Ebert for Port Adelaide can grab it.
Golden chance went begging for Port then. They should have scored a goal then.
Ball in the right forward pocket area for Port Adelaide, kicking towards the school end here at the Bay. From the back, got up very high. Harrison, Ebert smothered off the boot. Tony Hall got a quick handball away. The umpire's found a free kick here. It's going to be a push in the back.
Stephen Barrett.
So Barrett will lead for the Bays. This will be his second kick. He's got 15 metres as well. Comes grandstand side. Flying Gill from the back. Alan Stringer read it beautifully at the back of the pack though. He's off, one bounce, left foot up towards half forward. Greg Anderson in front spot, scored it away from Seabohm. John Simpson now for Port Adelaide.
Simpson turns it to the outer side. There's a chance for Craig Bradley on the move. Beautiful, two bounces. Settles it down. Port deep into attack now. Oh. And there's a chance, almost a chance for a number 4 for Port Adelaide. Didn't come off though. Dwayne Russell, as now we see Glenelg recover. Simon's beautiful hand.
Simon's kick up towards Robin Kidney. Small taps it in front of him. Chance now looks to be Walsh. Beautiful smother by Greg Anderson for Port Adelaide. He's still got the ball in front of him. Kidney makes front spot. Puts his body over the ball. He's won himself the free kick. That's the place you've got to be. You want the ball.
Glenelg are winning the free kicks.
Kidney's kick high. Kernahan's out from full forward. Smith the flyer as well. Offhand Stephen Curtis for Port Adelaide. He had to get rid of it in a big hurry. It's Copping. Taps it towards McGuiness. Curtis is with him. I'd say the umpire blows his whistle. He does, and we'll see a ball up centre half forward position for the Bays.
Umpire Schofield moves back. Johnston in ruck for Port Adelaide still. Carey with him for the Bays. Lovely read off there by Fiarchi. Runs into trouble though. Gets out of it, or will he? Yes, he does. Gets a left footer away to the outer wing. Looking for Bradley. Bradley in front. Couldn't take it. Pushes it out nicely. And Russell, who's birthing in deep to get his kicks, booms one in towards the centre half forward position. Ebert in front. Much too much height for him. Ginniver picks it up though. Runs in. Should get it. And he does. Port Adelaide. 3 straight goals. Glenelg, 2 goals for.
Well, I guess that goal makes up for the goal Tim Ginniver mucked up 3.5 minutes ago. I felt he should have scored. Last time it was in the Port Adelaide last line of attack. This time he made up, but he rode the falling ball very well. Typical Rovers goal, that one. And Tim Ginniver's had an impression on the play already. They're roving Ginniver and Mark Lawson out of the forward pocket. The ruck roving duo seems to be Craig Ebert and Stephen Williams.
A change in ruck. Stephen Kernahan replacing Peter Carey, and he'll go up against Russell Johnston. Dead heat. Marshall, wild kick. Boom directed, however. Gill booms it up high. Fly from the back will be Growden. Hall's in front. Scored away. Barrett to Marshall, Hall in directed. McGuiness should pick up the crumbs. He's off balance. Ginniver goes to ground. Empire's whistle will blow. Shakes his head. He's going to bounce the ball. He didn't see a free kick there. Dwayne Russell was the man on the bottom of the pack.
I think you'll find Tony McGuiness is kickless at this point in time. Number 1 rover with Glenelg.
Ball just ahead of centre for Port Adelaide. Johnston down to Russell. His kick was stopped though. Grabbed by Lawson. He ends up with the ball, but too much pressure on him, and another bounce. This time on the grandstand wing.
Stephen Kernahan against Johnston. Kernahan got that tap to McGuiness. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. David Kernahan handballs back. The umpire's found the free kick. It's going to Tony McGuiness. Left footer. Second kick over the half forward line. Copping at the back. Chance for Seabohm. Hurried little left foot kick. Which way will it bounce? Towards the boundary line. So the Bays have moved it up into attack. We'll see a throw in the left forward pocket area.
Beautifully read by Seabohm then. He was on the run past the pack. Just couldn't settle down to get the kick in, so we see the ball thrown in right in the pocket for the Bays. With Carey down deep to take it, tries to grab it out of the air. Stringer, another shot. This time not close, didn't get a chance to settle down. Glenelg 2 goals, 5, but off target. Port 3 straight goals.
Remarkably, all of Alan Stringer's 3 kicks have been round the corner kicks. He's got them and just sort of tried to twist them in. One's gone through the centre, the other 2 have missed.
Ben Harris's kick out towards Russell Johnston. Simon's the crumbs. He's got the speed. This will be a goal, boys. Dean, one bounce. Oh, he's been caught off balance. He's going to have to make room. Here he does. Left foot snap for goal. It's high. Simon's handsome. Simon's run about 30 metres there. Ruck River bounce, but he slotted Glenelg got 3 goals, 5. Port, 2 straight kicks for 2 goals.
Well,
3 goals.
I predicted that'd be a goal. Tony Simons on the run is a very hard man to stop. I really thought he would have kicked the right foot goal originally, but he forced himself around onto his wrong side, and he still started the goal with a nice left foot, educated twist of the ball to foot, and a top goal by Tony Simons, and he loves a goal coming in from his wing.
20 minutes in and there's a change in ruck for Glenelg as Stephen Kernahan comes onto the ball. Johnston still there for Port Adelaide. Geneva, little kick forward to the half-forward line. Lawson couldn't pick it up. Down goes Gibbs, playing on. Russell has the ball onto Bradley. Bradley looking outside for Geneva. Geneva's in a bit of trouble there, but gets the kick. Looks good. Geneva's second goal. Port Adelaide's 4th straight goal behind Glenelg's 3-goal 5. They've just hit the front, haven't they?
Well, that was an amazing goal because it was almost radar controlled by Craig Bradley. I'll swear he didn't see Tim Geneva out the corner of his eye. He seemed to know he was there. He fed out the hand pass, as I said, almost without looking, and it found Tim Geneva. And while they're watching the replay, he did see him. Tim Geneva had a very quick kick, very quick to put the ball to the foot, but it worked. It was a goal. And Porter back in front.
Both sides able to score at either end here at the Bay. If anything, the breeze is probably going slightly towards the Anzac Highway end, but we'll see them scoring at both ends. Should make way for a great game.
Bradley's playing very well.
Stringer for Glenelg, pushes it to centre half forward. Curtis, the back pocket player, in trouble for Port Adelaide. McDermott, his kick's wild, half forward line. Port Adelaide to clear.
Simpson towards centre wing, looking at Wayne Russell, scored away by Hamwood. He's got a big punch on him. Lawson couldn't do much with it. Biarchi, he's got the fumbles as well. Down he goes, recovered to Lawson. He's got running players. That's Tim Geneva. What's he going to do with this one? It's been his 5th kick this quarter. It's smothered. Tapped on by Lawson to Bradley. Bradley's got time. He'll line him up. Drop punch straight over the umpire's head. Port Adelaide, 5 straight goals. They're 30 points. Glenelg 3-5, 23.
What a good player Craig Bradley is. He was just hanging around like a leaf on a vine, and the loose ball came towards him. He had 1 look, 2 steps, and it was a goal. He's a fine player, Bradley, and Tim Geneva's playing well also. They're both having a big effect on Port Adelaide's running game at the moment. They just seem to be popping up unopposed wherever the ball is. And David Marsh must play a little tighter when Port have the ball on Craig Bradley.
Coming up towards full time in this first quarter, Johnston and Kernahan in ruck. Ball taken out by Simpson for Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide in the open again. Lawson tries to ride it. Gribs grabs him. He gets it away though. Stephen Williams has a shot. Will it curve back in? Not quite. Hits the post. Port Adelaide score their first behind on that. 5 goals, 1. Glenelg 3-5.
Isn't that amazing? Their first behind and it's a poster.
Stephen Barrett, long kick out. Almost reaches the centre of the ground towards the outer side. Off hands Kernahan. Bradley will be first to it. Craig Ebert should shepherd him. Bradley's got plenty of time. He's going to have a look towards the pocket area. Russell, Ebert at the back of Duthie. Ebert, 2 touches. Can he beat the boundary line? He turns, he can. Hooks it back towards half forward. Growden's there. He's got his eyes all on it. He's taken it. So another opportunity for Port Adelaide.
Growden is playing in a luxury position. That's his first kick, and he's playing permanent forward pocket. He's not having a run on the ball. What they're doing, they're shifting Stephen Williams, Craig Lawson, or Mark Lawson I should say, and George Fiarchi, and Tim Geneva, all around the pocket and the half-forward line.
Growden's kick was a good one up from the reserves of last year. Port Adelaide are moving along. They've got 5 goals, 1 now on the board. 6-1 make that, just changing over to Glenelg 3-5.
Now there's the switch. Growden just kicked the goal and it's coming off the ground, being replaced by David Baker. Isn't that remarkable? It happened again. It happened last Saturday. We saw
Jamie Thomas.
well, yeah, Jamie Thomas kick a goal and get replaced. So I think the deal is kick a goal, boys, and you come off the ground.
Baker going into defence for Port Adelaide. The ball is bounced with Kernahan and Johnston to contest. Johnston wins it, but into the hands of Kidney for the base. Doesn't go very far. Another bounce.
It's the umpire to bounce up, centre of the ground. Anyone's game so far this first quarter. Kernahan, who we got up very high and got the set. Seabohm couldn't do much with it. Marshall can, running player. Tony Simons is elusive. Covers a lot of territory, this boy. Doesn't matter which wing he plays on, he's everywhere. Gets his handball towards Walsh. Can he recover? Bundled off the ball. Gets the handball to McGuiness. Away they go again to be Marshall with a long kick in towards the full forward area. It was a goal. It was a superb kick, and that's a quick answer for the Bays. 4 goals, 5. Port Adelaide 6-1, and that was his 3rd kick.
Yes, I'd say it'd be fair to say at this point in time, Craig Bradley's got the call over David Marshall, but he's answered my slight criticism by racing over to the far side of the ground, getting himself involved, picking up a loose ball virtually and spearing it right through the centre. And that's a David Marshall skill that I've seen him do at training quite often. He really knows where the goals are at Glenelg Oval.
We're into time on. 8 points the difference. The Magpies in front, kicking against a slight breeze at the bay. Marshall tries to tap it on. Kidney dives over the ball. Pick up by Stringer, over his head, looking for Simons. John Simpson in the way for Port Adelaide. Simpson turns inboard. Oh, the handball doesn't come off. Pressure here. Brenton Owens on the wrong side of the ball. And out of bounds.
John Simpson doing a great job at centre half back, actually. I'm very impressed the way he's tackled John Seabohm.
Throw in on the outer side. Carey and Johnston. Almost a dead heat chance for Greg Anderson. Hooks it onto that left boot. It's high. Doesn't cover a lot of territory. Russell was the late flyer, couldn't pull it down. Simons again. Little left foot kick, ill-directed. Bradley picked that one out easily, and he's going to take off for Port. Up towards the half forward there. Russell Ebert's made a long lead out. Gibbs to be in front, couldn't pull it down. Ginniver hooked one out. The whistle's gone. Craig Ebert the free kick.
Craig Ebert plays on quickly from half forward. Booms it right in towards the square. Johnston's resting there. Over his head. Can he get the kick on? Has he touched? Big decision for the goal umpire. He says it was kicked through without the touch. Port Adelaide move away.
What great agility by Russell Johnston. He'd be 6'7", I guess, or maybe I'm giving him half an inch taller than what he really is, but to turn around and kick that ball like a rover was excellent work by the big fellow. He's actually 6'5", looking at my stats. He looks like 6'7" with his arms, well, he looks 7'5" with his arms outstretched. That was a fine goal against Chris Tooth. He's resting in the pocket now because David Baker's taking over the ruck work.
11 goals so far kicked this quarter. Looks like we're going to see an avalanche of goals. Carey and Johnston again. McGuiness a little tap forward. Bradley, a quick little give. That'll be Craig Ebert or Stephen Williams chasing through the centre. It's Craig Ebert. Now it was Williams to Ebert for that offline kick. And only the second point now on the board for Port. They're 7 goals to Glenelg 4-5.
Actually, Port Adelaide are doing better out of the middle than Port Glenelg at the moment.
Doothy's kick to the grandstand side. Bit of pushing and shoving in the pack. It's against Carey. The umpire saw it. So Baker, who's come onto the ground just in the last couple of minutes, will get his first kick in the game.
That move's paid off because Russell Johnson, the full forward, has got them a goal already.
Ball away. Maybe the mark should have been taken. Wayne Henwood using a bit of strength there on Lawson.
Gee, I suppose it was in the back, but poor old Wayne Henwood's being brought undone by the umpiring a little bit at the moment.
He's playing the body, that's why.
I suppose you're right. I guess you're right.
Russell Johnston's made front spot. It's balled away. It'll come to ground. He'll be first to it. Looks to be little Ginniver. Quick little handball to Johnston. He's kick smothered off the boot. Sock it away towards half back. Chance for Carey, the big fella. He's got Simons loose. Greg Anderson read it beautifully, however. Now a chance for Bradley. His kick had an airy. Ebert towards Fiarchi. David Kernahan, and finally it's loose.
David Kernahan's kick, though, picked up by John Simpson. He doesn't hang about.
Playing well.
Short kick. Looking wide. It's picked up all right. Inboard to Stephen Williams. He's in trouble, though. Oh, brilliant play there, running through. Phil Harrison keeps it moving. Down it goes in the pack, though. Only about 30 metres out.
Yeah, I thought a free kick might have been against Ross Gibbs then for holding. I saw Laurie Arden have a hard look at it and decide that there's a little bit of possession by the player underneath Ross Gibbs.
Bounce, not a high one. Carey got up high. He's going to try and take it out himself. Out, there's a wild snap towards the goal. Which way is it going to bounce? It's hit the post. Well, I missed who kicked it. Which would have been one of the goals of the day. Didn't favour him, however, and a minor score for Port. There's 7 goals. 9 now. Glenelg 4-5.
That's their second posted, Rick.
The kick out from Gibbs this time. Stringer high for the base, couldn't pick it up. Ebert on the bottom of the pack. Ball comes out, but not before the umpire's blown his whistle, so...
I can't quite work out what Russell Ebert's playing himself at the moment. He's come out of full forward, obviously. Hanging around half forward, I'd say.
Wayne Russell.
Found Bradley if he runs for it. Doesn't want it.
Ross Gibbs didn't favour him there. Bradley should run into this goal. Oh, mistake by Craig Bradley. You remember that one.
Wow.
7 goals for Port, Glenelg 4-5.
That staggers me. Young Bradley could have run right in then and almost moved it through. He elected to do a backward flip kick. Missed it.
Doothy's boomer in towards the middle of the ground. What a kick.
Peter Carey's free kick.
This time it was Carey in front position, going for the ball. He picks up the free kick.
Being held by David Baker.
Handball on towards Wayne Henwood. Henwood, he has got a long kick at him. That's covered another good 60 metres right up to the full forward area. Kernahan couldn't do much with it. Copping's grabbed by Curtis. Whistle has gone. We'll see a bounce up. So play's been moving between both ends. Certainly wouldn't be too many players catching cold out there.
He kicks like a mule, that Wayne Henwood.
The thing is, that ball goes out. That's 2 kicks from the full-back position, both boomers.
Yes, and Stephen Kernahan can't get to the game at the moment, fellas. He's had one short run on the ruck, but he's been camped at centre-half, full forward most of the game.
Copping grabs it out of the air on that throw-in, gets it to McGuiness. McGuiness left footer. Ooh,
Look close.
to swing it back. Not much in it. Glenelg 4 goals 6 now against Port 7-4.
It's Tony McGuinness' first scoring shot for the game. Renowned for his sharp shooting around goals. He's had 3 kicks of the match, and that's his first scoring shot, as I said.
Stephen Curtis, undecided. Lead on Greg Anderson.
But
Made a lot of ground, Greg Anderson, to give Curtis a lead.
He hasn't had much to say in the game either, Greg Anderson. 2
kicks so far this quarter.
Baker runs in for Port Adelaide to take this knock. Battle on between 2 other players there as Anderson picks it up, booms it out towards the outer side. Stephen Barrett couldn't quite hold it.
Ran again.
Swoops on it. Pings it in towards the half-forward position for Port Adelaide. Johnson couldn't get hold of it. Russell Ebert can't pick it up. Recovery here. Doofy.
Good football, Chris Doofy. Straight to Craig Bradley, though.
Bradley doesn't waste any time, does he? He's off. 1 bounce and a shot for goal. He's offline, however. How about Bradley? Take a mark and let's go.
Well, what a
7
game.
goals,
He's had
5
10 kicks.
Port.
Craig Bradley's had 10 kicks.
In fact, that ends the first siren, the first quarter, I should say, here at Glenelg. And what a quarter we've seen. Port, 7 goals, 5. Glenelg, 4-6.
Craig Bradley's on fire in the middle of the ground.
17 points the difference. Port Adelaide in front. This time they have the breeze behind them. Maybe worth a couple of goals now as the sea breeze moves on. Johnston whips it away first of all. Gets it to Russell. Doesn't come off though. Henwood at centre half back. Booms one out towards the grandstand wing. We've seen some big kicks from this man in the game. Oh, plenty of pressure there. Anderson manages to bustle his opponent over the line rather too vigorously. And umpire Schofield moves in and says, Gavin Walsh, it's your kick.
Copping's made a lead. That's where Walsh is going. Also, Kernahan's there as well. At the back, Ben Harris, he got the hand to it. Smith's bundled off the ball. Kernahan, Kidney now. He goes to ground, push in the back, has to be. So Robin Kidney on this acute angle down here at the bay in this
I'll tell you what,
area.
He's a great kick for goal, this little fellow, even from that position. He's liable to kick this. He's got a bit of a hook foot he's got.
Robin Kidney's 3rd kick so far in the game. It'll go across the face. Stephen Kernahan will fly. It'll be punched off hands, and Tim Ginniver for Port will relieve.
Ginniver gets the kick away despite the pressure right to the outer side. David Kernahan lets it run out in front of him.
At this point in time, the Port Adelaide Rovers are winning around the packs. Tim Ginniver and Mark Lawson.
So the ball in, half back line for Glenelg. Or for Port Adelaide, I should say, because Glenelg can attack this second quarter. Port Adelaide now with it though. Move it away through Fiarchi. Into the middle, Lawson. Ooh, manages to get it over the head. Brenton Owens, who's moved up from the half back line, gets it. Oh, holding the ball must be. What?
No, he paid around the neck. He paid the neck.
Did he?
Yes.
Brenton must have known that because he held on to it.
He knew.
Russell Johnson came out, couldn't pull it down. Ross Gibbs, wild kick out, chance here for Lawson if he can recover. He turns 40 metres out, slides up the 2 goals. Will it be touched? No, it's off hands. In fact, still in play. Still an opportunity for Port Adelaide. What can Williams do with it? He evades, gets the wild handball out to Phil Harrison. Maybe it wasn't a wild handball because Harrison slotted it. And Port the first goal this quarter. They're 8 goals 5, Glenelg 4-6.
That virtue came about by Ross Gibbs just getting the ball and kicking it. Very uncharacteristic of Ross Gibbs because he's a normally great kicker of the ball out of the fence, but he just got it and kicked it at that particular moment, and it landed in the arms of a Port Adelaide player who I thought almost kicked the goal from about 40 metres head on, but the ball finished up in the hands of Phil Harrison, who slotted the goal and made up for the earlier, not error, but earlier loss of a chance of scoring.
Peter Carey for the Bays against Johnston. Johnston, if anything, just wins it down to Bradley, but he couldn't get it anywhere. Ginniver tried to carry it with him. Ball still in the pack in the middle. The umpire finds a trip. McGuiness with the ball for the Bays.
Anyway to go. Go high to Stephen Kernahan.
Kernahan's at the back, Copping was at the front. Gill couldn't do much with it, but a chance now for Simpson. Had a good opening quarter for the Port Adelaide. This kick has been well marked.
Wayne Stringer plays it on quickly inboard. Gibbs from the back.
That's a kick, see?
Lovely kick to Tony Simons. Kept metres against Anderson. Simons plays it on quickly now.
Beating Anderson.
Towards the half-forward line, looking for Copping in the front. Coming from the back was Kernahan, broke the pack up, and a free kick will be played to Kernahan. Pushing the back from the back.
I think that's Steve's first kick for the game.
He's got this as his second, so you're pretty close, Graham.
Yeah, he hasn't done a direct shot for goal for the match.
Ben Harris standing the mark.
Now, Steve, it is a magnificent kick for goal. I think you'll find he'll go awfully close to kicking this way.
It's a long, straight kick, just a little offline. So Glenelg go to 4 goals 7, Port 8-5.
Yes, well, Glenelg at this point in time can't get their champion big man into the game as yet, but it'll come.
Curtis comes grandstand side. Baker flying with Henwood down the long way. Plays allowed to go on. Ginniver, hurried little kick. Chance now for Anderson. He couldn't do much with it. McDermott's bundled off. Marshall, can he tap it out? He does. Finally the whistle will go, and we'll see a ball up this grandstand side. We've played about 5 minutes of the second quarter. Carey against Baker. Baker trying to make front spot. He missed the tap. Gets it second time towards Groudon it was. Finally Fiarchi with the kick out. Gibbs tapped on by Williams. Chance now for Stephen Williams if he's got the pace, or he may have been legged. Play's allowed to go on. And we'll see a ball up towards the edge of the square. Port Adelaide's favour.
Great umpiring then. I think a lot of umpires would have thought the boy was tripped over, and he wasn't. He tripped himself.
The bounce, only about 20 metres out. Johnston forces it, carries it through for himself. Stephen Williams has a look. Over the shoulder kick, 1 point only. 8 goals 6 Port Adelaide, Glenelg 4-7.
Yes, that's a hurried snap by Stephen Williams. I think he's got 2 or 3 behinds to his credit now. 3 to be precise. He's been a little costly in his shooting for goal. Hit the post on one occasion, as I recall, but he's got to straighten his leg out.
Chris Duthie looking for Big Carey. Scored away from behind by Baker. Here's an opportunity now for Port Adelaide. It's a little Fiarchi, maybe to Harrison. As it back to Fiarchi's collared. Chance for Stephen Williams again. Wild handball comes backwards. Harrison the kick. It's high and handsome. They'll have to fly for this one. Johnston couldn't pull it down. Duthie's got his nose over the ball with Fiarchi.
There's a push to McDermott.
Stringer. Finally Ginniver comes out. Well, that is kicked. Well, how could you miss that? 5 metres out, and Ginniver slotted the post.
Amazing game for Paul. You miss the obvious sometimes, and you kick the impossible. And Tim Ginniver's put a blot in his copybook again there. He's missed a couple today so far, and he's kicked 1. He's kicked 2.
Kick out from Duthie, long to the outer side, looking for Carey. In the way's Baker. He flicks it on to Fiarchi. Fiarchi booms it in towards the centre again. Everybody's spoiling, no one trying for the mark. Now Russell turns onto the right boot. High and too wide. 1 point only. So neither side being able to get a kick on the board at this stage.
The Port Adelaide side are definitely roping the backs better than Glenelg at this stage. They're picking up the loose ball more often than their counterparts. Tony Simon screaming the ball over this side.
Glenelg elect to go down the middle of the ground. Gavin Walsh. Nice mark behind Brett Owens on that occasion. The run on plays coming. That was the 5th mark for Walsh. Copping missed it. Simpson. All Glenelg back here. Gavin Walsh should be first to it if it bounces his way. It's 2 Port players coming extremely quickly. One of those was Harrison, and he managed to prevent Walsh getting that kick in.
Yeah, top tackle.
So the throw in.
David Baker streaming in for this knockout.
Slightly into attack for Port Adelaide. Anderson tries to dive over it. Lawson turns it to Anderson, missed him. Russell Ebert gives himself time, centres it. Beautiful play on Stephen Williams from Craig Ebert. Williams right into the square. This could go through, and it bounces the wrong way. So Port Adelaide go to 8 goals 9 on Glenelg's 4-7.
Stephen Williams registers his 4th point. He kicked 1 goal 4. He kicked the first goal of the game for Port Adelaide, and has since registered, as I said before, 4 behinds.
Port have kicked 1 goal 4 in the second quarter. High flies. Stephen Williams in front having a few touches. Lawson read it beautifully. Nice handball to Dwayne Russell. He'll line up the big white ones. Has a kick. It looks home from here. It is. Dwayne Russell's got his first of the game, and Port Adelaide have got 9 goals 9 now. Glenelg 4-7. Dwayne Russell's 7th kick.
Well, it must have been Dwayne Russell's been threatening danger for quite a few moments at centre-half forward this quarter. He finally got the ball between the big sticks. I just noticed that Russell Eber's gone back to a forward pocket now. And they're playing ducks and drakes with their forward line, and probably confusing Glenelg a little. There's Dwayne Russell now shooting for goal and to get his first major for the game, and he's playing strongly at centre-half forward. In fact, they're winning in most key positions, Port Adelaide. They're winning at centre-half back and centre-half forward, and winning in the middle of the ground.
Got a different ruck line-up in this quarter with Stephen Kernahan against Baker. Kernahan manages to force it forward, but it's picked up by Bradley. Stolen there beautifully by Glenelg. David Kernahan picks it wide, looking for Copping. Copping turns. Can he keep it in? At this stage he does. Picks it up. Flicks it in towards Stringer. Stringer has a look. He's got somebody in the square. It's McGuiness. Put it down. Glenelg, 5-7. Port Adelaide, 9-9.
Well, there's Tony McGuiness, feeling well satisfied with that one. He finally got a chance to score a goal for Glenelg, staying in the pocket, and Stephen Copping drew the player towards him, gave it to Alan Stringer, who popped it over to Tony McGuiness, who finished off the work with a right foot jag for goal, but he could have almost kneed it through. Easy goal.
Approaching the 10-minute mark of the second quarter. In ruck, Baker and Kernahan.
Oh.
Baker got up high. Kernahan was down before the ball even came down itself. Dwayne Russell couldn't do much with it. Scoop comes out the back. Kidney gets his kick away up towards half forward. Copping, Smith. Neither player able to bring it down. Another chance for McGuiness. No, it didn't sit for him. Curtis, desperation. Now Smith for Port Adelaide. And finally to Simpson. And that's one way to get out of defence, Port Adelaide.
Good football by Port Adelaide.
And Port Adelaide get it into their half-forward line now. The run is on through Lawson. Decides to turn in, almost a trip. Still got it. He's run a long way. Puts it into the centre. There's Craig Ebert. It's over his head. Now the Bays with possession. Big one from David Kernahan, goes high and only about 15 metres. Simon's almost the grab. John Simpson over the ball for Port Adelaide. But it's McDermott who gets it out to Kidney. Kidney onto David Kernahan. Can he get the kick away? He does, right down the line. Looking for McGuiness. Free kick is paid against McGuiness on Stephen Curtis.
The decision was quite right. I can't see what the crowd are booing about.
Curtis will go the long handball to Craig Ebert. The running player will be Smith for Port Adelaide, and he'll go towards the outer side. Ross Gibbs, big fly from the back, couldn't pull it down. Marshall against Bradley. Neither player able to get possession. Tim Ginniver covering a lot of territory. Yeah, undecided. Goes for the short little kick, and he's picked out Harrison.
Good footy, isn't it?
Yes, it's quick and it's furious. No quarter given, no quarter being asked, as they say.
Harrison's third kick coming up. The angle is acute. Russell Ebert's made a lead, but Harrison's decided he's going to have a shot for goal. Drop punt's on its way. The umpire moving across. And Harrison's offline. A minor score. Port 9-10. Glenelg 5-7.
Yes, well, Phil Harrison is playing a will-o'-the-wisp game up there in the forward line. Hasn't done a great deal, but that was well done. Just didn't finish it off, I think. Well-executed kick.
Port Adelaide 26 points up as the kick comes out from Duthie. It's a beauty into the square, and a great mark from Kernahan. On to Kidney quickly. The Bays run through centre. Looking for Copping. Copping's got it off the pack. So Smith now, he's stolen it. Port Adelaide jumpers everywhere. Gill, the half-backer, has time to run and look. In towards centre half forward. Looking for Russell. Oh, almost a take. Taken down beautifully. Ball.
Gavin Walsh. Strong tackle on Dwayne Russell, so Gavin Walsh for the Bays. Comes grandstand side. Fly from behind by McDermott. Couldn't pull it down with a second grab. Brett Lowen's on the bottom of the pack for Port, and we'll see a bounce up grandstand side.
Chris McDermott hasn't been in the play much today. He's had a couple of kicks.
Penwood went up against Baker. Baker got the tap. McDermott, Ebert. Chance for Marshall. He'll scoop it on. Tony Simons. Curtis into his back. And holding on the decision. So Tony Simons, the opportunity for drive the Bays right to the goal square.
Copping. Centre half forward. Could pick up 15 metres if he's a little bit lucky, but no, the umpire says that was all in the play. So Copping lines up.
I've seen a player in Melbourne reported for that, for time wasted, knocking the ball out of the player's hand after he's marked it.
30 metres out. Stephen Copping.
He should kick this.
He's got 1 point so far in the game. And that looks pretty good. Goes across a little too far, does it?
Yes.
1 point only.
Yes, he just hooked it and faded away at the last moment. Normally a reliable kick from that position, Steve, but it's just not happening for him today.
Ben Harris's kick will go to the square. Johnston spalls it away from Gavin Walsh. Biarchi went without it. Russell Johnston's got it tucked under the shoulder, under the arm armpit, I should say. The umpire will bounce in the centre of the ground. Johnston and Kernahan. Brendan Owens, it looks to be, for Port Adelaide.
Well done.
Left foot kick. Wayne Russell couldn't do much. Anderson tried to go with it. He went without it, but Stringer for Glenelg.
Stringer finds out the back David Kernahan. Glenelg back in possession, going down the outer side towards the wing. Looking for brother Steve Kernahan, didn't come off. There's Stringer though. Nice give to Stephen Kernahan. Here's Henwood coming in from the back line. Has a look. Stab to McGuiness. Paid off. So he can kick them long and he can kick them accurate and short as well. Tony McGuiness lines up.
Henwood's playing a centre-half forward now. John Seabone's gone to centre-half back. Switched by the Bay coach.
Certainly need this one, Glenelg, because at this stage they still stand down 26 points. And we're 15 minutes into the second quarter. Sixth kick coming up for Tony McGuiness. That's a better one. Glenelg get 6 goals 8 now against Port's 9-10.
Well, Tony McGuiness has kicked both goals scored by Glenelg this quarter, and he's becoming a menace down there in his attacking line. Here we have Stephen Kernahan popping the ball over, where we find Wayne Henwood finished up in the end of that one. It wasn't really meant for Wayne in the first instance. He did a grass burning pass to Tony McGuiness, and Tony finished the work off with a nice piece of work, interception of the ball, and finished it off with a goal. Tony McGuiness, 2 goals, starting to come into the game.
Port Adelaide have made a change on the bench. Baker's come off the ground and Growden's gone on. Back to the centre, it'll be Kernahan. Takes it out of the air all the time in the world. Nice little give to McDermott. Goes short, the pocket area. Smith and Copping. Smith first to it. Quick little gift to Stephen Curtis. Port Adelaide will get out of trouble here towards Ginniver. Oh, he took his eye off it. It should recover. He won't. Kidney's desperation. Out the side, Ginniver again. Heavy clash with McGuiness. Alan Stringer to McDermott. Doesn't have a look, but fires away. Copping almost made front spot. Chase on. Can Walsh get there? He can't. It's still in play. McGuiness comes in, and finally Port will get out of trouble.
Brenton Owens the kick. Here's Simons though with a chance to pick it up. Plenty of pressure there. He hooks it out to Marshall. Left footer. Lines it up. It's going to go through. What a goal. Glenelg right back in it with 2 quick goals. 7 goals 8 behind Port's 9-10.
Well, David Marshall's a great two-sided player. Caught on the run side of his body then. He went on with it. The left foot kick. And it was a real opportunist goal, that one. Tony Simons was the original man about the game possession, was well tackled by Greg Anderson. Then a little tap on to David Marshall, and David, as I said, unerringly split the centre with a left foot drop punt goal. Beautiful piece of work by David, who has lowered his colours at this point in time to Craig Bradley.
Well, they've added 3 goals this quarter into the slight breeze here at the Bay as Lawson gives it to Johnston, and Johnston will boom Port into attack. To be Gibbs getting back on it over his head. Simpson, that was coming through. Doothy finally for Glenelg. What a booming screw punt. Kernahan's got trouble with the sun. Yes. Comes from the front. Kidney picks it up. Quick little give. Away goes McDermott through the centre of the ground up towards the full forward area. Carey's in front spot. He's got it. No, he hasn't. Chance for McGuiness. Taps it in front of him. Curtis from behind. Nice little turn on his left foot. Has a little stab. McGuiness. Oh, it's just touched on the line. Well, Glenelg 7-9. Port 9-10.
What a remarkable turn of events. Glenelg all of a sudden doing all the attacking, and Tony McGuiness almost got his 3rd goal for the quarter.
Almost 17 minutes into the quarter. Tap out was beautiful to Kernahan. On to McDermott. McDermott has a go. Wasn't ever going to go through, sadly. McGuiness certainly not giving up on the last line. And another point to the Bay. 7 goals 10 now.
I really thought Chrissy might have nailed that one then, Chris McDermott. He had everything going for him, no pressure. The ball was free. And he ran free of the pack, but just kicked a little to the left-hand side of the goals.
Stephen Curtis, familiar figure with that headgear, comes grandstand side. Kernahan punches away. Kidney, sandwiched between 2 Port players, Anderson and Bradley.
By George is willing in those packs. Very willing.
So a ball up.
Glenelg are starting to get a hold of the falling ball now. A lot better than what they have been doing.
Big tap there was Henwood. Belts it into it for McDermott. Curtis is there. No, he couldn't pick it up. McGuiness has a go. He can't do it either. Down goes the pack. The umpire will have to bounce. Glenelg have shifted from a 26-point deficit and they've brought it back to just 12 points. All happened in the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Glenelg still on attack. The ball up on their half-forward line. Johnston and Carey. Henwood, another big smash. He punches this ball a long, long way. A chance for Copping. He picks up, goes short now. Stringer, surely that's not 10 metres. Stringer's kicks high. That'll bring rain. Henwood again smashes away. Well, he can punch the ball a long way.
Well, gee, he really throws himself into the fray too, Wayne Henwood. He's made a difference. His physical presence at centre half forward this quarter has just brought about a turn of, well, a change of luck for the Glenelg side.
Carey against Johnston. Carey drags it down. Johnston is the one who tries to flick it away with some success. Lawson couldn't grab it. Kidney with the ball now. Gee, beautiful balance from Kidney. Brought down, play it on, says the umpire. Henwood again in there. Johnston handballs away. Fiarchi will clear it. And now Brenton Owens, the halfback player, gets a chance. Whoa, mistake. Still manages to hang onto the ball and runs it through the centre for Port Adelaide. Not far though. Ebert goes down with the ball. Port Adelaide into attack for the first time in quite a few minutes.
Yeah, at least 10, I'd say. It hasn't crossed their centre line for 10 minutes. I wouldn't have thought. Properly, I mean, you know, really getting into the teeth of attack.
So a bounce up on the edge of the square. Then he plays around it. Kernahan went for the tap. Fiarchi bundled his way out. He got his kick away too, right towards the full forward area. Ross Gibbs back there, should be first to it. Harrison's got it. Charlie, I was just going to call Astley holding the man.
He must have thrown it away, and that is the rule actually, Keith.
Yes.
If you virtually, well, he didn't bounce it, he sort of threw it away.
I had a feeling he didn't ever grab it though. I didn't think he actually caught possession.
But I think he did momentarily and possibly pushed it away with his with a double-handed take. It's probably similar to taking possession, I don't know.
Phil Harrison will line up for his 4th kick in the game. He's already got 1 this quarter and he kicked 1 in the first.
It's a vital goal for Port, this I tell you.
He's plenty of effort behind it. He's offline. You can hear that the base supporters like that. They weren't happy with the decision. So Port Adelaide are ticking away on the minor behinds. 9 goals 11, Glenelg 7-10.
And on the replay, it did look as if Gibbs might just have had that possession you talked about, Graham. Pretty tough one for the umpire to make a decision in front of goal.
Especially when the player's back was to him.
Chris Duthie, a boomer of a kick again, kicking out magnificently today. Glenelg player held over the shoulder. Robin Kidney, who's thrown himself in all the way. He's got into the game in the second quarter. Sure. In fact, he's had 6 kicks now. He was looking for Henwood. Here's a chance for Stringer, though. Brenton Owens, well done to Smith, but Smith couldn't grab hold of it, so Stringer has another go. Gets it out to McDermott. He can't pick it up. Down goes the pack. The umpire must bounce.
Craig Bradley's dropped out of the game this quarter. It hasn't had any prominence whatsoever compared to his 10-kick first quarter, and my statistician just tells me it's a kickless quarter so far.
13 points the difference. Port Adelaide's favour. The umpire's picked up an infringement over the shoulder in the way of Stephen Kernahan. It's going.
Yes.
And he's well within range, I'd say.
No worries with the distance.
It'll be his 5th kick in the game.
No worries with the distance. It's a matter of accuracy from there for Stephen.
If anything, the breeze would be from his right to left, if you could say there's a breeze, because it's a magnificent day for football. Here's his kick. He's dragged it. Spoiled away by Ben Harris. Chance for McGuiness. Is it? 2, 3 taps. Handballs wildly. Smith. Oh, he missed Ben Harris. It's hit the post and finally run over the boundary line. In fact, over the point line for a minor behind.
What can we say? That's Glenelg's first poster?
Didn't really count. Tony McGuiness thought it was worth a try. Somebody might be in the square. And here's
Tony just handballing for the sake of handballing then.
Big kick out from Baker. Craig Ebert with the ball. Moved on to Anderson. Anderson's kick over half forward. There's a mark by Ebert.
Oh, just go back to there's very little marking power in the Port Adelaide forward line. Very little.
It seemed no doubt to me because he had the back end of the pack. He juggled it. Yep. It was dislodged as he was falling down under pressure from the other bodies. Only his 3rd kick in this game.
Yes, he had very little say in the game, Russell Ebert.
But this could be a fairly decisive kick. And he doesn't miss it. Port Adelaide put their 10th goal on the board and go 3 goals clear at Glenelg.
That's Russell Ebert's first goal for the game. And certainly he's had a hard time down there. He's undermanned for height. Chris Duthie can certainly jump all over him all day if he wishes. And I made the point a couple of seconds ago that Port Adelaide lack marking power on their forward line. They've got nobody up there to take a grab. Nobody. Graham Russell hasn't really dominated the airwaves, and the other blokes are all little fellows. It's the smallest forward line I've ever seen.
Captain Peter Carey back into ruck against Johnson. Johnson got the tap. Bradley against Marshall. Dermott falls to ground. Finally comes out the side door. Chance for Seabohm. He's collared by Craig Ebert. Picked up by Williams. McGuiness behind him. Williams still got his nose over the ball, and he wins the free kick in the back.
A bit unlucky, Tony McGuiness, then. I thought he did a lot of hard work to get to Stephen Williams.
Williams plays it on quickly to Gill, coming down from the half-back line. Looking for Dwayne Russell, who got hands to it. Now he's on the bottom of the pack with the ball. The umpire will bounce in the forward pocket for Port Adelaide. They're 18 points up. We're about 23 minutes into the quarter.
Carey looked to be against Dwayne Russell. Dwayne Russell comes out, hooks one over his shoulder. It's not a bad hook, but he's way offline and out of bounds on the full.
No percentage in that whatsoever. He got it, just tried to hook it over his head.
It'll be Wayne Stringer to bring the ball back in for Glenelg when we get it out of the crowd. Little boy attempting to kick it over the fence down there, and he's having all sorts of troubles. Finally, it's thrown over.
Usually the ball gets salvaged by someone in the crowd in a case like that.
Hewitt the kick in from the back pocket. Outer side, big play, Wayne Henwood. And he's starting to have an influence on the game now with big punching and long kicking. This one over the centre. Copping put the shove in, and the umpire saw it.
The Glenelg crowd don't like any free kick made against the Glenelg boys, do they?
Darren Smith puts it up with the breeze. They'll have to fly for this one. Seabohm punched away. There was no opposition finally in the end towards Henwood and Anderson. McDermott tapped it on. Still with it, McDermott. He goes to ground. Anderson opportunity, and
run the free kick
gone. Biarchi just
Biarchi
15
metres. So McDermott will move it on quickly for Glenelg. See if they can get back into attack. They've had the initiative for most of the quarter. Johnston on to Ginniver. His kick goes nowhere. Stringer will try to pluck it out of the air.
Take possession.
Rather, McGuiness tries to punch. Doesn't come off. Stephen Williams has got it for Port Adelaide and time to bounce it a couple of times.
I don't know why Tony McGuiness didn't take possession there.
Here's a chance for Glenelg to mob up.
Finding the Seabohm. He'll get the little give on. The reason Glenelg did that is because Russell Ebert led to a pocket area a while ago, and Ginniver went straight down the ground, but back with a play. Tony Hall will go short to Marshall. Marshall will have a look up front. He booms it right towards the edge of the square. Flyer, Stephen Kernahan. Here's another opportunity if he can pick it up. He can't. He's well tackled. Stephen Curtis at the bottom of the pack with Kernahan.
Stephen could have been tripped then. Stephen Kernahan.
We'll see a ball up on the edge of the square.
Stephen Curtis declared war on Stephen Kernahan. I thought he might have infringed a little bit that way.
So a pressure bounce now. Kernahan grabs it. The crook bounce. Kernahan grabbed it. Might have even got out of the full, not just inside. So the throw in the forward pocket for Glenelg. They're 3 goals down, and we're into time on in the second quarter. Picked up by Craig Ebert. Moved on by Stephen Williams, but only a few metres.
Yeah, Stephen Williams handball to nobody. Ran over the boundary line.
Into time on in the second quarter. The throw in directly underneath the scoreboard. It reads Glenelg 7-11, Port 10-11.
There's only been 6 goals
the difference.
Only been 6 goals scored in the quarter too, Rick.
Wild kick out. Bradley has got front position. Marshall saying, I've got nowhere near you, Bradley. McDermott, ball up.
David Marshall fought back well this quarter against Craig Bradley. And has more than held his own. Well, he's won this quarter.
It's time to bounce in the centre half-back position for Glenelg to get out of trouble. Bradley, though, forces it forward to the outer wing. Played on by Russell, looking for Harrison. Harrison gets into the back of Seabohm.
The neck.
And the free kick is paid to Glenelg. John Seabohm.
Seabohm goes towards McDermott. Wayne Stringer. He's under all sorts of trouble. He gets his kick away, however, towards the edge of the square. Alan Stringer. No, it's big Henwood from behind and centre half forward this quarter. He's handball towards Marshall, but it was well intercepted.
Owens.
Brenton Owens kick to the wing, only to find McDermott again. It's Tony Hall this time. Tony Hall working it down towards the half-forward flank grandstand side. Take almost on by Marshall. Alan Stringer with the ball. Lovely little chip to Kidney. Kidney can turn around. No, Curtis is too quick.
But he's a mile away from him, Stephen Curtis. He's trying to read the play there and left Robin Kidney unattended, 30 yards away. 30 metres away.
7th kick coming up for Robin Kidney. He hooks it across the goal. Port Adelaide defenders content to punch it away for a point. But Elk 7-17, that can't be right. 7 goals 12 is better. That's against correct. Port's 10-11.
Ben Harris straight down the centre of the ground, almost to the centre circle. Massive kick out by Ben Harris. Bradley couldn't pull it down. Here's an opportunity now for the Bays. Carey, McDermott was the player giving the handball. Copping, and away from Smith on that occasion. He's giving away height, Stephen Copping, but he's a strong mark.
I think he's lacking a bit of confidence shooting for goal, Stephen. He wanted to pass that on then. He's got to have a shot from there.
His fifth kick. Shouldn't have any problems with the distance. He's going to go short. The lead on Alan Stringer. He's going to pat it there.
Well, it's painfully obvious to me Stephen did not want to shoot for goal that particular time, and it obviously didn't occur to the Port Adelaide lads that he'd go for the short pass, but sitting up here in the grandstand looked obvious to be on, and Alan Stringer materialised virtually out of the ground to give him something to kick to.
Alan Stringer picked up a goal early in the first quarter.
Yes.
And now he'll line up to get Glenelg closer to Port Adelaide as they go in for the half-time break, and that's what he's done. Glenelg 8-12 now, Port 10-11.
Well, as I said, Stephen Copping is lacking a little bit of confidence today shooting for goal. He hasn't kicked one as yet, and that particular time Peter Carey found him with a quick chip shot, which I call them, when they only go about 30 yards. And Stephen from then on wanted to pass the ball off, and he was able to find Alan Stringer after a little bit of indecision. Alan popped out of the ground, took the mark and kicked the goal.
Back in the centre it'll be Peter Carey, something to the grandfather of the Glenelg side, and captain against Johnston. Gavin Walsh has put it up high. Fiarchi getting back on it. He was a bit slow getting to it. Alan Stringer, nice little handball to McGuiness. He's away. His handball goes out wide. Opportunity for Bays. Where will this kick go? Right towards the square. Copping setting himself in the middle. Kidney looking for the crumbs. He's got it now. Makes room. Picks it up the second time. Gives it there. Henwood has put it through, I'd have to say. Umpire says yes, he has. So Wayne Henwood has got his first goal on the board. Glenelg making a revival late in this quarter. They're now 9 goals 12. Port 10-11.
Only 5 points down Glenelg now. There's been a big turnabout in play. They've dominated this quarter. They've definitely restricted Craig Bradley during the event of the last 25 minutes or so, and Wayne Henwood's had an effect with strength, particularly at centre half forward, and the whole side is lifted as one in the forward line particularly.
Port Adelaide 26 points up at one stage in the quarter. Now Glenelg have got them back towards just 5 points. 5 minutes into the second quarter, and time must run out as it hasn't been a big goal scoring quarter. Can one of the sides get a break before they go in for half-time? Carey. All down into the pack again. It's cleared by Glenelg. Not far, though. Brent Owen stopped it. Picked up by Fiarchi. Comes back in. He's looking for Jennifer. Couldn't find him. Carey. On to McGuiness, who has a wild kick down towards the half-forward flank. Pick up by Smith. His handball's a long one to Owens. This is Owens with the ball now. In towards Johnston. Johnston has the chance to settle down and kick a big kick in. Oh, there's a little bit of luck off the back. There's a chance for Stephen Williams, and there it is. Port Adelaide, it's a kick away. So we go in towards half-time. There's the siren. Port Adelaide, 11 goals 11 on Glenelg's 9-12.
What a fortuitous goal that was. Stephen Williams has missed 3 this quarter and 4 for the game. Picked up a loose ball and popped it through just to drag away from Glenelg again, right on the line, right on the siren, and Garton's rucking.
Fair problems with the flat ball.
We've got 14 points in it, isn't it? No, 11 points.
Start of the third quarter down here at the Bay. Port Adelaide by 11 points. A couple of changes at the Glenelg side. Peter Carey hasn't come back onto the ground. Neither has Stephen Barrett. We've got Garton and Hewitt on. Owens puts Port Adelaide into attack, looking for Rush Lee, but he's at full forward, playing 433 games today, an Australian League record. Stephen Williams tackled by Ross Gibson. The umpire says that's holding on.
Well, I think it was there, I've got to be honest. Ross Gibbs, I think, is arguing the toss on that one, but I feel that Stephen Williams hadn't taken possession of the ball, and Ross grabbed him and got to pay the penalty.
Stephen Williams, his 9th kick, looking for his 3rd goal. Umpire having a good close look. The cheers are there, and Stephen Williams has got 3rd, and a good start for Port. They're 12-11. Glenelg 9 goals 12.
Well, that was the one thing Glenelg couldn't afford, I felt, an early goal with Port Adelaide. They did a remarkable job in the second quarter, Glenelg, when they were 27 points down at one stage of the quarter. They fought back to actually all but hit the front. But now the Port Adelaide lads have dragged 17 points clear again.
Back in the centre, it'll be Garton to go up against Johnston. Baker. Johnston got the tap towards Alan Stringer. He couldn't do much with it. Chance for Port Adelaide, this wing side. He goes to ground, Gill, but he wins himself the free kick. Too high, the umpire says.
So Gill plays on quickly onto the wing. Bradley making himself available. Quite loose there. Could be 15 metres. No, the umpire says it's all right. Yes, it is 15 metres against Stringer.
I love the way they push each other away when they're going back on the
Bradley's
mark.
on the move now. He's decided to get away from that sort of action and push it in towards centre half forward. Looking for Ebert, coming across the front of the pack, couldn't take it. Johnston's got the ball. Now it's Ebert again. Stephen Williams over the ball. Gibbs against him. That's got to be holding the ball this time. And Gibbs says, yes, thank you. Ross Gibbs getting the worst end of the start. I think Stephen Williams runs over the mark, 15 metres.
So Ross Gibbs.
Yes, he'll kick this a company mile, you'll find. No, he's gone short.
He's going to pick out Adam Garton. Mark should be paid, it will be. Garton onto the ground in this third quarter, replacing Peter Carey, who we didn't see come back out onto the field following the half-time break. Copping may have got a push in the back, it wasn't seen. Smith couldn't do much with it. And the umpire will bounce up on the half-forward line for the Bays.
There was a slight push there, no question about that.
Craig Ebert running in for Port Adelaide. Ball thrown up this time. A high jump from Russell Johnston, didn't go anywhere. Then Harris at the back will mop up after that point.
A snapshot by Stephen Kernahan, who grabbed the throw-in.
Glenelg 9-13, Port 12-11.
Ben Harris. Front spot, Russell Johnston, is it? It is,
yes,
in front of Garton on that occasion.
One of the few overhead marks taken by the Port Adelaide team today.
Fifth kick for Russell Johnston. Covers a good 45 metres, looking for Dwayne Russell, but Marshall read it best. Oh, that'll be 15, will it? Well, just a bit tough roll over by
Dwayne
Russell.
just gave him a little gentle push, but David helped himself along.
Marshall's on the move, takes a bounce. Kicks it right in towards the full forward position. Stephen Kernahan there, but a huge back form. Kernahan out the back, gets a kick away, touch, says the umpire. Another point to Glenelg at 9-14 now. Port Adelaide at 12-1.
What a highly skilled player David Marshall is. That was a magnificent left foot kick into the square.
Alan Gill going short, Russell Johnston found himself some space, got away from Adam Garton on that occasion. He should drive Port Adelaide towards centre wing on the outer side. Dwayne Russell and Seabohm, whistle's gone.
Gee, the whistle's going a lot this quarter.
I didn't see the infringement, but Seabohm's won it. Towards centre half forward, it was picked out Tony Simons. Lovely kick by Seabohm. Simons making space for himself. He wants him to go long.
He'll have a shot.
Drop punt is long, all right. It'll go right towards the square. Stephen Kernahan comes out. Smith in front. It's under pressure, Smith, but a fine mark. His fifth kick goes out wide. Greg Anderson. Haven't seen a lot of Greg Anderson. He's covered territory, though. Left foot kick towards centre wing. There's nobody there. It's all Glenelg at this point of time.
Hewitt with the ball. Turns it around. Choice of several jumpers there. Seabohm bangs one in towards the half-forward line. Stephen Kernahan turns around, gets one high. But the umpire says holding it to him. Missed the first one and saw the second tackle, obviously. No chance for Kernahan to get rid of the ball, so a bounce on the half-forward line for Glenelg.
Umpire bounces this time. Kernahan got the tap. He's still got it with him. Will try and break free. He does. A little left foot snap towards Stephen Copping. He'll try and make space. His handball was well smothered by Darren Smith, and it's over the line, so we'll see a ball in that right forward pocket area for the Bays. They're 9-14, Port 12-11.
Johnston against Kernahan. Kernahan taps it over the back. Can't find a Glenelg jumper, though. The ball neutralised and another bounce.
Port Adelaide will wind up as they finish the second quarter, so no dramatic change has been made by the black and whites.
Umpire's having a lot of bounce in practice here today. It's a bit stop-startish. Tim Ginnivan now an opportunity to get the ball moving. Greg Anderson drives him towards centre wing. Harrison got up very early, couldn't pull down the big specky. Bradley hooks it around the corner. He's found a Glenelg player who gets on towards Marshall.
Marshall kicks it in towards centre half forward. The ball goes wide though, and Greg Anderson drops back to pick up a mark on the half back line for Port Adelaide.
They're playing end-to-end over there.
Seventh kick in towards the centre this time. Oh, Russell drops the one he should have taken. Ginnivan swoops on it, gets it up quickly. Craig Ebert moving it in, looking for brother Russell. Ebert couldn't quite handle it. Ebert, clever play, taps it on, but it's kicked away by Glenelg, and they come into attack.
Big chance for Glenelg here. It looks to be McDermott. It is. He'll give it across to Alan Stringer, the running player, David Kernahan. Now he'll have a good look if he does. He does. He booms one towards the two white sticks. You can tell by the applause that that's home. Glenelg 10-14, Port 12-11.
That's the second time David Kernahan kicked a long goal from his side of the ground. He's playing on a wing on George Fiarchi. He ran clear of his opponent then, accepted the hand pass from Alan Stringer. That's his 9th tick for the game, his 2nd goal, and he's had a big effect in Glenelg's game today from his side of the ground. It was a top goal, and he's just got too much height. Not that the height had anything to do with that goal then, but he's got too much height for George Fiarchi.
Garton and Johnston. Johnston won that tap, went past McDermott. Wayne Russell uses his strength and booms one up towards the forward line. Russell Everts at the back of the pack, fly by Growden. Russell's trying to claim the mark. Russell Everett that was. Ginniver's little kick smothered off hands towards Ross Gibbs. He'll go down on ground with Growden. Gibbs trying to barrel his way out of trouble. Harrison's claiming holding the ball, and eventually we'll see it thrown in underneath the scoreboard. Port in attack.
Although Ross Gibbs almost scooped that out of bounds then.
Adam Garton comes in for Glenelg. Seabohm with him. Ginniver picks it up and has a look, and it rolls across the front of goals. 1 point only. Port Adelaide now 12-12. Glenelg 10-14.
The amazing thing now is Adam Garton's running down to do all the ruck work, and Russell Johnston's hanging around the centre of the ground. A la Peter Carey the first quarter.
Duthie comes grandstand side. David Kernahan was there. Also Alan Stringer with the back heel. Bradley, the running player, casually gives it to Craig Bradley, and away he goes towards the pocket area. They'll set themselves. It looks to be little Ginniver. He's bundled out the way, however, by Ross Gibbs.
Gibbs plays it to the outer side, looking for Simons. Good kick and a great mark. Simons plays it on. Moves it on to Hewitt. Glenelg move it over their centre line. There's Marshall. Chest mark. Chance to play it in here for Copping, just in front of him on the half volley. He can't pick it up. So Port Adelaide with a chance to recover.
Brenton Owens gives it to Lawson. Lawson will go out wider. Be Dwayne Russell, maybe. Long kick. Scrubber. Ross Gibbs again. He's got time. Turns. Fires it back whence it came. It's all Glenelg jumpers here. Russell Johnson's forced to come in late. Marshall the easy mark. Plays it on towards Stephen Kernahan. He's got McGuiness if he wants. He's got to be quick. Bradley's on him. He's got his kick away. However, it's long and it's high. And it's not a bad sort of kick indeed, but just the wrong side of the goalpost. And Glenelg have got 10 goals, 15. Port 12-12.
Ross Gibbs coming into the game out of the back pocket for Glenelg now.
Big kick in from Harris. Fly from Anderson doesn't pay off. Tony Simons off the back of the pack in towards centre half forward. McGuiness over the top, but no, it's another Bay player in front of him. It's Marshall again. 3 quick marks in a row from David Marshall. His 10th kick coming up. He's a long way out. Just a little bit of breeze behind him. David Marshall's 3 marks for the game, coming just in almost the same number of minutes.
After a very quiet start, he's more than matched Craig Bradley over the last quarter and a half.
So Marshall lines up to give Glenelg a chance to close the gap. It's long but wide. Vigorous contest there. Stephen Kernahan turns it around. Chance for Alan Stringer to rise for it. Pushed out.
Once again, Stephen Kernahan and Stephen Copping flew for that mark, and it's not working out. The duo and the final line of attack for Glenelg. I see Peter Carey's getting ready to come on the ground also. Obviously Glenelg will change their rucks from the bench this quarter.
It'll be good news for the Bays. They'll be happy to see Peter making an appearance. Garton, the flyer, who replaced Peter Carey this quarter. Smith, wild handball. Tony, Alan Stringer, I should say. Wayne, I should say, towards Marshall. He'll taps it on quickly to McDermott. Gives it back to Stringer. Stringer's off the side of the boot kick. Will fly to the pocket area. Stephen Kernahan, a big fly, almost the second grab, not paid. McGuiness is shoved out of the way. Brenton Owens, he goes to ground. And they've got it. Gavin Walsh will take the kick. Gavin Walsh, the big opportunity here, will be his 9th kick for the game.
Yes, he's ruck roving today with Chris McDermott.
There's the change. Peter Carey's on the ground.
Gavin Walsh's kick being clapped by McGuiness in the square and signalled a goal by the umpire. So Glenelg are getting closer to Port. 11-15, Port 12-12.
Yes, nothing in the game now. 3 points to be precise. And Gavin Walsh finished off some good tackling work there. He really brought Brenton Owens to the ground strongly, and the umpire judged it as holding the ball. And and not many people will argue that one. He had a chance to get rid of it, did not. And Gavin Walsh, who fancies himself as a goal kicker, finished the work off with a neat goal.
The two first ruckmen back in action in the centre. Peter Carey on the ground now against Russell Johnston for Port Adelaide. Carey wins it. Marshall taps it to Kidney. Kidney doesn't go with it though. Carey reaches down to try for it. Recovery from Port Adelaide though now as John Simpson, the centre half back, booms one in towards centre half forward for them. Gibbs couldn't grab it. Here's pressure. Ginniver dives over the ball. Ball in big pack there.
Russell Eva tried to manufacture a free kick out of that little tussle for the ball. He threw himself forward to the play, but the umpire wasn't having any of it at all.
3 points the difference. Port Adelaide in front of Glenelg. Terrible bounce by the umpire. Taken out of the air by Growden. Players will come to ground. Dwayne Russell. Ginniver tried to get free with it. That's kick smothered off the boot. Massive plays in the square area. Opportunity now for Ginniver. He's picked it up. He's grabbed over the shoulder. He'll get the kick. Played the neck. He's played the neck. Well, his kick was offline for a point, but the tackle from behind was offensive. So the little fella will take a shot from goal no more than 10 metres out. He's already kicked 2 so far. It'll be his 12th kick. His first 2 goals came in the first quarter.
David Groundensberg replaced again by Baker.
Ginniver's kick. Couldn't miss it and he hasn't. So Port edge away again. They're 13-12. Glenelg 11-15.
That's Tim Ginniver's 3rd goal for the game, playing a very tigerish role around the packs. He's an opportunist, and as I've said many times when I've been coaching, free kicks in front of goal can make or break you. At this stage, it's cost Glenelg dearly. It was around the neck, no question, and Tim Ginniver, lively player today, finished it off with a neat goal.
Again, Johnston. Now it's Baker who's moved into the first ruck now for Port Adelaide, and he wins that one. Got it down to Stephen Williams. He couldn't handle it, so Robin Kidney picks it up for the bays. Scoots out a wild one. Phil Harrison turns.
Harrison's gone to a wing, incidentally.
Stephen Williams again in front. Big Carey though with the height. Takes it out of the air. It's tapped on for Glenelg. Alan Stringer goes in with the body. Gavin Walsh. Walsh. There it is. Came straight to Kernahan. Kernahan held his ground against Harris. Stephen Kernahan lines up. And after a quiet first half, now we're seeing Stephen Kernahan working. This is his 9th kick, and it's a goal. His first. Glenelg go to 12-15. Port Adelaide 13-12.
Now there's the difference. Glenelg have marking power in their forward line. It hasn't shown out all that much today, but it's there. Stephen Kernahan was able to elongate his arms for that kick by Gavin Walsh and make something out of nothing virtually. It was just a wild kick towards goal, but having the big fellow in the square gives you a chance. Port have got little people everywhere in their forward line.
Back to a margin of 3 points, Port Adelaide's favour. Baker got the tap, streaking through Gavin Walsh again. He just set up that last goal and he booms it up towards the full forward area. Kernahan's up behind, Darren Smith in front. Mark Pate to Smith. Smith plays on quickly to the outer side, looking for Ginniver. Oh, Ginniver's taken out. Now that's he's hurt. Yes, that's unfortunate because Ginniver committed himself for the mark, missed it completely. But I thought that the player coming through, in fact, was still certainly going for the ball or going in the play. There was nothing wrong with the attack, but you
couldn't criticise Rob Kidney. He had his eyes on the ball, but Tim Ginniver's unlucky.
Gill takes the free kick for him, goes towards the outer side. The whistle's gone. I would have paid the mark as well. But no, Dwayne Russell's going to come out with the ball. It must have been an infringement in that pack. Wayne Russell will drive the Magpies. No, he won. It's a beautiful smother opportunity now for Wayne Hemwood. Gives it across to McGuiness. He's on that left foot. Will go right towards the square. Kernahan shepherding well. It's home by McGuiness. And Glenelg have hit the thrust. 13 goals, 15. Port 13-12.
Well, that was vintage Tony McGuiness. He ran down the field, accepted the hand pass, and kicked a lovely 50-metre goal. It just cleared the hands, but it was, as I said, vintage Tony McGuiness. It was a glorious kick of the ball. It cleared Stephen Kernahan and Ben Harris in the square. And Glenelg hit the front for the first time for, well, I don't know when. Probably the first time, full stop. Early in the game, anyhow.
Glenelg 3 points up. About halfway through the third quarter. Baker drags it out of the air and kicks one high, looking for Russell. It's in a half-40. Head front position, couldn't take it. Kick on then from Lawson. Gibbs with the chance now to pick up for the Bays. Keeps it in front of him well. Works it all. Tried for the hand pass to Doothy, but it didn't come off. Out of bounds.
Throw in the right forward pocket area. Port Adelaide in attack. They're trailing by 3 points. They've led most of the day here at the Bay. Carey from behind takes it out of the air. He gets his kick away. It's vacant territory. The chase is on. Henwood, Walsh first there from the Bay. He's urged on. He kicks it with his left foot. Right towards Copping. He's got front spot and he's taken the mark. Well, Stringer was running past, but Copping will blast now. Kernahan's on the lead. That's where it's going. He's taken it. Almost a dead heat with Curtis, but play the mark for Stephen Kernahan. You can sense some achievement getting into this Bay side. It's the third mark for Stephen Kernahan today. He's been a bit quiet. It'll be his 10th kick and it'll be 15 metres as well.
Unfortunate for Stephen Curtis because it was very close, wasn't it? Kernahan had to come into that pack very late, and Curtis thought he'd marked it, but it seemed a fair call from the umpire, and you don't give away 15 metres when you're this close to goal.
That's undisciplined, really.
What's more, the angle is so much better too, Keith. He was on about a 45-degree angle. I'd say he's now almost directly in front. Stephen Kernahan. Oh, he's missed it. A shocking error. He's offline, through for a minor score. So Glenelg 13-16, Port 13-12.
Remarkable miss that, because you would back Stephen Kernahan in 9 times out of 10 from that position. In fact, most guys around town, you probably backed him in from that position. And he's missed it.
So Port Adelaide breathe again in this third quarter as Ben Harris booms one out to the grandstand side. Alan Stringer's got it. He plays it on. David Kernahan with a chance now onto the right foot. 14 goals 16. Port Adelaide 13-12.
Well, how's he going, eh? David Kernahan, his third goal for the game. A magnificent piece of work by the lad. Only 18. Got a lot going for him. A magnificent kick of the ball. I said earlier, I think George Fiarchi needs to be shifted from him. He's just not handling him at all well. And now Stephen Knight comes on the ground, but not going to the wing. He's just coming on the ground to probably play half forward. Yes, he is. So, David Kernahan, his third goal for the game. Running away from Port Adelaide now.
Baker tried to take it out of the air. Bradley socks it off the ground. Chaser beyond Tony Hall. If it sits, will be first there. He does. He's got time. Gives it to Seabone. Looking for backup support. Will come across towards the centre of the ground. Wayne Stringer. David Kernahan. Hall. Marshall. Henwood. Henwood has a shot. Wild shot off the side of the boot towards the pocket area. It's still in play, however. Kernahan goes down, holding the ball, and it's out of bounds.
Well, the Kernahan's certainly coming into the game. David Kernahan kicked the last goal, and Stephen Kernahan was just tackled in the last line of attack.
Big kick from Ben Harris in towards the centre half-back. Fly from Phil Harrison doesn't come off. Simons with the ball for Glenelg. Right into the full forward position. Copping's there. Stephen Kernahan is too. Copping with a chance. Now McGuiness over the ball. Still in play. Copping. They're going backwards to get a look at the goals. Whoa, that was a high handball. Hewitt taps it back in. Kidney flies. Couldn't make
happen over there.
Bit of action over the side. The umpire moves in, and so do a couple of other players. And it's on again.
I think Chris McDermott's in that somewhere along the line.
The umpire says 15 metres.
Well, there's two very important 15 metres going the way of the Bays in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Looks like McGuiness will be the kick.
Will it?
Can't see him through the pack at this stage, but I have a feeling it's Tony McGuiness lining up. Yes, it is. Phil Harrison have a little word with him on the side. I think it might have been a clash between Harrison and McGuiness that started it all.
It's on his left leg too, which he should score from there. Well,
he's done it. Glenelg going away with it now. They've come from 26 points down halfway through the second quarter. Now they clear out. They're 9 points up.
Well, there's a bit of a melee over on the far side, and out of that was a free kick paid to Glenelg, and then a 15-metre penalty applied for another skirmish, which I didn't quite pick up how it eventuated. But out of it all, Tony McGuiness kicked his 4th goal. And as I said before, Glenelg is starting to run away from Port. They better put a stopper on this if they wish to remain in this game. And once again, their biggest problem has been no marking power in attack. When it does go forward, they've got no one to take a mark and kick a goal.
Back in the centre, Peter Carey will do opposition against Baker. Baker had the height. Bradley forced off the ball. McDermott gets a hurried kick away. Wayne Henwood went for one of those big smashes. Here goes McGuiness again. He's into the game. Luxury of a bounce. He's on his wrong foot, but he smashed it away towards the square. Kernahan in front. Opportunity now for Copping. Can he pick it up? Smith, nice tap back. And the umpire will pay it in the back. Well, you've got to commit yourself, I suppose, but Copping got rid of the ball just at the right opportunity. He's won himself the free kick. It'll be his 7th. The angle very acute.
Bit unlucky, Darren Smith. Still, that's the game, isn't it?
Copping, no doubt about it, nose over the ball, and very difficult for Smith to tackle him without giving it away. 6 goals to 2 so far this quarter. Glenelg in front.
Graham, you said Stephen hasn't looked confident shooting for goal, but he slotted that one from a very acute angle. His first. Glenelg 16 goals, 16. Port are 13-12.
Well, I mean, the confidence always returns when your side hits the front. It's early in the piece when Steve was finding it hard to find the big sticks. He was sort of not totally, I suppose, sure he would kick the goal to the marks he was taking. But that time, from an acute angle, he's speared it right to the middle. So everything's come to him all of a sudden. There it is, Stephen Copping picking up the falling ball and being tackled over the shoulder by Darren Harris. It was Darren Smith, it was there.
Baker got the tap towards Bradley. Stephen Williams. Port Adelaide finally into attack. They've got it to their half-forward line. Chase is on. Out there, Fiarchi. It's collared by 3 Bay players, and finally Duthie with the ball. No, he took his too long to get rid of it. Simons, left foot kick. Over centre wing towards Gavin Walsh. Players will stack up there. It's Owens, Port, and the ball up.
The switch has finally been made now on David Kernahan. It's long overdue, that move. George Fiarchi's gone to a half-forward flank.
Only a couple of minutes to time on now, and Port Adelaide need to get a couple of quick goals to get back in. Ball comes in towards the centre for Anderson, but stolen beautifully by David Kernahan. Again, he's having another shot, and he's got it. Yes, what a goal. Glenelg, 17 goals, 16. Port, 13-12.
What a game David Kernahan has turned on this quarter particularly. He's had a good game for the whole 3 quarters, but more so, 3 goals from his wing has been soul-destroying for Port Adelaide, and there's no stopping the lad at the moment. He just came down the field, picked up a kick in from defence, lined them up, and put it through again. He's got a straight boot on his feet today, young David Kernahan.
Change in ruck, it'll be Stephen Kernahan for the Bays. We're almost approaching time on of the 3rd quarter, and the 3rd quarter must go down to Glenelg. Craig Ebert gives it to Stephen Williams. Even he can't break free. Port Adelaide having trouble finding space. Quick little gift to Simons. He'll go out wide. It will be Mark Hewitt. It is. He'll streak the Bays into attack again. Up towards the half-forward position. Copping in front of Smith. Spoiled off hands. Smith first to recover. Stephen Curtis shrugs off the tackles and fires the handball to the boundary line.
Great tackle by Alan Stringer.
Alan Stringer way ahead of the action there. He knew what Stephen Curtis was all about. He was trying to get through the pack, but he didn't quite get there.
Throw in half-forward flank for Glenelg. Henwood goes for the big punch this time, but Craig Ebert for Port Adelaide to recover. Comes out looking for Russell and finds him. Wayne Russell. His 12th kick in the game. Oh, taken by Gibbs at the back. Can't quite handle it. Gibbs picks it up though out of the pack. Goes backwards to Marshall. Hewitt's in trouble. Great tackle by Russell. Plays it on. Don't know what the Bay crowd's on about. That's good football. McDermott. Tony Hall tried to get it away. Baker on the night. Just come on the ground in the last few minutes. Lovely shot in. And even will get a goal. Second goal to Russell Ebert. Port Adelaide 14-12. Glenelg 17-16.
Well, Stephen Knight has just come on the ground and has immediately had effect on Port Adelaide's forward play. Nice piece of work. There was arms and legs everywhere. Then the crowd were going mad because Wayne Russell tackled very strongly, but he was paid the benefit of the doubt. Might have been a little high, but Stephen Knight finished up with the ball, plucked it over, and a quick hand pass to Russell Ebert in the square brought about his second goal and Port Adelaide's 14.
Bays have made another change in ruck. Wayne Henwood going up to that centre bounce. Stephen Kernahan's gone to centre half forward, I think. Chance for Jennifer. His handball was beautifully read by the Bay player. We'll see a ball up on the half forward line for Glenelg. Marshall it was.
George Fiarchi is being replaced.
Kernahan and Baker.
David Groudon coming on.
McDermott with the ball. Runs it round the half-forward line, in towards the middle. Copping couldn't take it. Fly by Gill. Curtis will have to mop up. Ooh. the boot. It skidded along the ground, right in the forward pocket to throw in.
Bayesian attack. That's where we've seen the most of this third quarter. They're in front, 17-16 to Port, 14-12 to throw in. Carey taps it out towards the back. Stephen Coppng nose over the ball. Stringer fires it out to Stephen Kernahan. He'll line up the post. Can he be straight for this one? Umpire says that's good. Stephen Kernahan's got his second goal. They've all come in this quarter. And Glenelg are now 18 goals, 16 to Port, 14-12.
Yes, that was a great piece of work by Alan Stringer. He's had a reasonable day today on the half-forward flank for Glenelg. He's always there, very alert, and very excited by his hand pass out to Stephen Kernahan then, because Stephen finished it off with his, as we said, his second goal for the game and the 18th for Glenelg.
Into time on in the third quarter, and a fantastic 9-goal burst by Glenelg this time, going with a slight breeze. Kidney kicks it away to the grandstand flank. David Kernahan again, he's been a force in this quarter. Will he recover in time? Courageous stuff, gets the head over the ball. Alan Stringer with it now. Alan Stringer's kick is a bit wonky. Finds Copping, he brought down too high. Another kick for goal for the base.
Yeah, very untidy tackle by Brenton Owens. Wasn't on, too high. Nobody could argue that one.
The 8th kick for Stephen Copping. Started quietly, got a couple of points on the board, built up his confidence. This could be his second goal if he gets it in the quarter. He's got that one. The Bays go away. 19-16 to Port's 14-12.
Stephen Copping never looked like missing that goal. He's really, everything's come back to him in this quarter. From early in the piece, as I was saying, he was not really shooting for goal with any confidence. Now he's got everything going for him. He's playing in front. He's getting the late tackle there by Brenton Owens, set up this relatively easy chance for Stephen to kick his second goal. And they'll move on to 19 goals, 16 behind, 130 points. The Port 14 goals, 12, 96.
Be well into time on in the third quarter. Wayne Henwood to go up against Russell Johnston. Henwood, he's got a big smash on him, tapped on cleverly to Kidney. Will it sit for him? He goes to ground. He's still got possession. Trying to tap it out the side door towards McDermott. Finally picked up by Walsh. He gets a hurried kick up towards the forward area. Copping, the bounce favours him. He taps in cleverly to Alan Stringer. Over to Tony McGuiness, onto that left foot of his. He bangs it right, and there's another one. Glenelg are going wild. 20 goals, 16, Port 14-12.
That's Tony McGuinness' third goal for the quarter, and a total of 5 all told, and he's running riot down there. He's really got Stephen Kernahan on plus at the moment. He's running where the ball is, picking up the relatively, well, easy chances you might call them. Well, that wasn't so easy because Gavin Walsh kicked a very quick ball out of the scrimmage. Stephen Copping knocked it across, picked up by Alan Stringer over the top to Tony. Tony McGuiness ran into an open goal and speared it through.
Well, what a stunning quarter from Glenelg. Even better than their 10-goal burst in the Escort Cup last week. 11 goals in the quarter, and Port have managed only 3 against it. Russell holding a ball, took too long on the turn, and Glenelg dominated.
Everything's running for the Bays at the moment.
Seablone played on towards Stringer. He'll drive it up towards the half-forward line. Kernahan missed it. There he is again, Tony McGuiness. He'll have another shot. This could be 2 in 2 minutes. No, he's just offline and through for a minor score. So Glenelg at 20 goals, 17. That's 37 scoring shots. Port 14-12, 26 scoring shots.
Right, and once again, Tony McGuiness was able to get away from Stephen Curtis.
Kick out from Ben Harris. Long towards the centre, looking for Darren Smith. Marshall over the top, almost stole it from him. Bradley out in front now. Chased by Stephen Kernahan. He'll be lucky to catch Bradley. Staying with him, Joe.
Stay with him.
Plenty of pressure there as Bradley kicks it. And as a result, can't find anybody right there in the half-forward line position for Port Adelaide. Stephen Williams tried to grab it, couldn't do so. He hands it back to the umpire.
Well, Port Adelaide need a goal. They haven't been down this end in attack very much at all. Baker taps it. There's no Port attack there at all, and Glenelg will relieve towards the centre of the grounds. Stephen Kernahan, Simpson off hands. Away he goes. What can he do? Put a bit of life into the Port attack. Booms one towards the square. Duthie's getting back. The late flyer. Seabohm the mark. No, Tony Hall the mark.
Courageous mark at the player coming at him. Tony Hall will play it to the outer side. Big fly from Russell doesn't come off. Port Adelaide now with a chance to move forward through Ginniver. Ginniver's kick is high, looking for Baker. Can't find him. Ginniver again. Another high one. and offline by the look of the umpire. Ooh. Ball dives at it, can't do it. 5 minutes into time on in the third quarter here at the Bay, and Port Adelaide, a half-hearted attempt at the goal, can't get a good run at it.
Baker and Hem with the flies, Seabohm the tap. Russell Lee, but what can he do? He's on his left boot, snaps one high, wide, and all the result is a minor score of point. 14-13 Port, Glenelg 20-17.
Russell Lee playing out of the pocket now with David Baker at full forward. He's throwing his side around quite a bit. Stephen Knight on a flank, half-forward flank, and to no avail because Glenelg are doing it as they like at the moment.
Glenelg to the grandstand side. Only to find Anderson. Fine mark over David Kernahan. We haven't seen much of Greg Anderson today, especially in this quarter. He puts it back in towards the square. There's the big mark. That's Baker. David Baker played most of his games in the reserves for Port Adelaide. He's 25 years old. This is his third kick. Played off the bench for part of the game today. He lines up to give Port a chance into this last quarter, and that's the end of that. Tells the story. Port Adelaide can't do a thing right this quarter. 14-14 now, well behind Glenelg on 2017.
Well, I've been labouring the point they need marking power and attack, but as soon as they get one, David Baker's mucked it up.
Chris Duthie comes grandstand side. Wayne Hempwood at Seabohm there with Russell Johnson. Play on the call. Johnson's wild handball smothered. Oh. He went in very high, topped the side of Russell Johnson's head, and he'll win himself the free kick.
Young Rob Kidney is like David and Goliath then, but he caught Russell a rather stunning blow, and Russell Johnson has got the free kick.
Be his sixth kick. Goes towards centre half forward position, right on the siren, and it's been the third quarter for the Bays. They lead 20 goals 17, 137 points. Port Adelaide 14-14, 98.
Last quarter here at the Bay, and after a magnificent 11-goal third quarter, Glenelg, with the wind slightly against them, 39 points up. Port Adelaide throw Ginniver. He certainly contributed all day. And he's still got it. Gets a kick down towards their half-forward line. Seabohm under it for Glenelg. Will take the test.
John Seabohm for the Bays will swing it towards the outer side. Out there is Marshall and Kernahan. Kernahan should provide the shepherd. He does. Marshall the opportunity to drive up towards the half-forward line. There's Wayne Hempwood unopposed. Good debut for the Bays today. Played a couple of positions, also been in ruck for a little while, up towards the full forward area, Kidney off hands towards Alan Stringer. No, back towards McGuiness, a great third quarter. McGuiness, he's tackled, couldn't get the kick away. Another opportunity, Copping. He'll go to ground, tackled by Ben Harris, and the umpire will ball up on the half-forward line. The Bays favour.
Yeah, Stephen Copping tried the barge through, it wasn't on. The umpire's called for the ball.
The bounce at about the centre half-forward position for Glenelg. Stephen Kernahan contesting against Russell. Johnston, I should say. Here's a chance for Walsh. Can't pick it up. Curtis rides it out the back. On towards Allen. Gee, Bay player headed into the bottom of the cheer squad packs there, and he doesn't look too good.
I think he's hurt.
Out.
No, he's okay. He's getting up. Stephen Copping it is.
Turned himself against the black and yellow streamers.
I think they pushed him before.
The throw in, Kernahan tried to tap, almost took it out of the air himself at the end. The ball loose again on the ground. Finally, Brenton Owens, the handball out towards Bradley. Won't sit for him, it will now. He's got to get rid of it, he does. A hurried kick. Out of defence, marked over there by David Kernahan, who's had two opponents today, probably beaten them both. His 12th kick, Val McDermott, high towards the square. Kernahan and Copping there, Harris from behind. Steve Curtis, he goes to ground, well tackled, and the umpire will bounce up on the edge of the square.
Almost ball that, but I think it could also have been in the back because he was jumped into, but the fact that he brought the ball to the ground, I think the umpire declared it a drawn ball.
2 minutes in, and Glenelg doing all the attacking again in this quarter. Johnston got it away. Bradley coming in, playing very deep. Simon stay with a chance right along the line, out of bounds on the full.
Tony Simons has Paul Harrison as his opponent at the moment.
Stephen Curtis to bring the ball back into play for Port Adelaide if they're to win this. They've got to have a massive last quarter. This is Stephen Curtis' first kick. He's handed out a few handballs though today. Towards Johnson, he couldn't take it. It'll come off hands. Harrison, he goes to ground, tackled by a couple of Bay players. They want the holding the ball, but the umpire says no way, I'll bounce it. in the shade of the grandstand, but it's been a magnificent day for football. Clear blue skies, a great crowd in attendance, and a great opening to the season for both sides, particularly the Bays.
Decides to throw it up. Johnston wins it. Bradley there again, right on the line, kicks it back in. Almost finds Lawson. Ginniver chips in. But as far as McDermott is concerned, it ain't going nowhere.
He's a tenacious player, Chris McDermott.
Umpire again will throw up the ball, that is, towards Simons. It comes. He wins his way cleverly, makes room for Alan Stringer up towards the full forward area. Copping setting himself, the big fly, scored off hands to Kidney, who'll run into the open goal. Robin Kidney's got another one. That will be his first for the game, his 10th kick. And Glenelg have opened the last quarter very well. They're 21 goals, 17. Port Adelaide, the gentleman will move out of the way. He does now on 14-14.
The classic Rovers goal. Tony Simons popped it over to Alan Stringer, as I recall. Looking back on the incident, Alan hung it up in the square. There was a melee of 4 players going for the grab. Came to Robin Kidney, and he ran an open goal, leaving Stephen Curtis in his wake.
Glenelg by 45 points as Carey goes up against Johnston. Carey won it, but it's Port Adelaide who come clear with it. Browden, long kick to the full forward position, first time this quarter. Baker couldn't take it, so Duthie clears for Glenelg. Kidney contesting the ball close to the line, still over it, and now it goes out of bounds. In fact, it was David Kernahan.
Sure.
Picked up a 7, but the wrong one. Seabohm high for that one. And now Port Adelaide still scrambling forward, but not for long. As out comes Duthie. Simons on the grandstand wing. Takes it in, got plenty of runners here. Hewitt's kicked towards the half-forward line. Looking for Henwood. Henwood turns well for a big man. Keeps it moving. Marshall in front of him. Shot from Russell. Is it too far? Too deep? Glenelg crowd wants a push in the back decision. I think the umpire was unsighted in the sun anyway.
No, it was well called by the umpire, I felt. Nothing in that one. Laurie Archer.
Ball up, Henwood against Johnson. Johnson got the tap towards Lawson. No, Stephen Williams, he goes to ground with Brendan Owens, and we'll see the ball up again in front of the grandstand here. Half-forward line for the Bays.
5.5 minutes gone, another throw from the umpire rather than the bounce. Henwood, the big punch, tried to get it to Simons, straight through his hand.
Kids, I wonder why they're throwing it up there. Would it be a bit damp or something?
Must be a bit soggy and a bit uneven there, because the umpire's certainly not taking chances. The throw in finds a kick from Stephen Williams quickly. Simons with the ball. Looks for Marshall, changes his mind, goes the other way, and here's Copping. Stephen Copping, through centre half forward, plays it on quickly because out comes Kernahan. Oh, the kick wasn't well directed to him. Stephen turns around, he's only going to get the goal. They can do no wrong. Glenelg 22 goals, 17. Port Adelaide 14-14.
Well, isn't it remarkable? When you're hot, you're hot. When you're not, as they say in the classics. In the first half, they're the sort of things Glenelg weren't able to do. Now, everything they do turns to gold. Stephen Copping led forward, took a nice mark, popped it over to Stephen Kernahan, didn't really get it to him properly, and Stephen did a quick over the head snapshot, which rolled through. It rolled through, and Glenelg running away with this game now, running away with it on the scoreboard.
Peter Carey was beaten to the ball that time by Baker. Got it out towards Lawson. Lawson's trying to barge his way through. He's caught, holding the ball. Nice tackle applied by Stringer. It's Wayne Stringer, number 14. His brother wears number 1, Allen. His 10th kick towards the outer side. Bays again into attack. Consistently done in the second half of this game. Nice mark being played back there to John Simpson, who's had a fine game really for Port. Probably one of their better players.
Been in their top 5 for sure.
He's had 11 kicks, and he's being asked to go back behind the line. Alan Gill gives him a chance to play it on, but he says, I'll kick it well in towards the centre of the ground. Big fly at the back pays off. Anderson.
Watch out for his left foot, he'll go away now. No.
Tried to, but Kerry was onto him.
Anderson's left foot kick eventually right up towards the forward area. Scored away from behind by Duthie. Opportunity now for Bradley. He's trying to make space, concedes ground. Well, his handle wasn't good, but he'll back it up. No, eventually gets it to Lawson. Lawson has a shot for goal, but he's offline, and that's been really the story all day for Port. Their whole game has been something off down here down the bay. They're 14-15. Glenelg 22 goals 17.
Well, it's a classic example of how the fortunes have sort of gone in the course of this game. Now everything Port do just doesn't work out, and whatever Glenelg do turns to gold, and indicated by that shot for goal by Mark Lawson. Just missed it. Glenelg's one bounced through.
8 minutes in, Chris Duthie. Kick out to the outer side. Will go out without being touched. So a kick in. Craig Bradley's on the spot. Plays on quickly. One bounce.
We'll have a shot.
They get it right into the square. He's looking for Russell, but a pile of Glenelg players, including Tony Hall. There's a chance, and it's not come off.
Off hands.
Rowden, I think, had the attempt. 1 point only.
That was smothered off hands then.
14-16. Glenelg 22-17.
Chris Duthie will go towards the outer side. A nice kick out, nice drop punt, looking for Carey. He's got front spike, and the super pulls one out. Plays it on quickly. Robin Pitney. Will it sit? It does. He's away. Across through the centre of the ground. That kick a bit ill-directed. Brent Nowens, and he's off for Port Adelaide. One bounce. He's got some pace. He streaks away from Henwood. Brent Nowens up towards the full forward area. Russell Johnston's got front spot, and he's plucked one out. So an opportunity for Port Adelaide to get their first goal of this quarter. It'll be 7th kick for Russell Johnston. Kicked 1 goal in the first quarter. Shouldn't miss this. Oh, and he has. Well, the story of the day, and Russell Johnston just shrugs the head and says, well, what do we have to do?
Going to be a long ride home on the Bay tram tonight.
14-12 Port, Glenelg 22-17.
Glenelg cleared away. Hewitt kicks to the grandstand wing, the outer wing. Recovery by Bradley. Long hand passes on. And he's come unstuck. Gibbs flicks it up nicely. Hewitt plays it to nobody, but keeps possession. Out of bounds.
They've lost their link-up, Port. They had good link-up early between the Bradleys and the Rover boys. Jennifer and, to a lesser extent, Mark Lawson. That's not coming from now.
Away by Anderson. Will be picked up by Seabohm. He goes for a short one. It was an ill-directed kick, but he picked out McDermott. McDermott will play it on to Robin Kidney. The Bays are running this quarter. They've run for the second half of this game. Kidney's kick to the edge of the square and well over the head of Henwood.
Simpson plays it on. Looking for Curtis, who's come out from the back pocket to give him some run. But that's the story. McGuiness right on his hammer. McGuiness tracks the ball. And that's the sort of attack on the ball that's given the Bays a fantastic run. They've come from 26 points down to 50 points up.
Bounce up. Harrison strikes the tackle. Ginniver. He's got space. He'll go short towards this grandstand side. He'll pick out Stephen Knight, the beardless Stephen Knight this year. He'll go across the centre of the ground. It's all Marshall and Carey. He's picked out the wrong coloured jumpers. Well, Carey's made the mistake for that error. Picked it up to Marshall. Will drive towards the outer side. He's looking out there for David Kernahan and Copping there. Will David get there before the boundary line? He does. Goes backwards, creates space, and finds Wayne Stringer. Stringer's shot for goal right towards the square. Stephen Kernahan forced to touch it through and go, oh, it must have been over the line, and it's a goal to Wayne Stringer, who salutes it with a punch in the air. 23 goals, 17, Glenelg, Port 14-17.
Well, that will really dispirit Port Adelaide. Here's Wayne Stringer, a half-back flanker, coming well down the ground in pursuit of the ball, picking up a hand pass, and from there, well, not actually a hand pass, a little chip shot from David Kernahan, and lining them up and spearing it right through the middle. And when those sort of things happen to you, you know it's not your day, as far as Port Adelaide is concerned.
Glenelg heading for a 10-goal win at this stage, unless Port Adelaide can pull something back. Ginniver has a try to move them forward. David Kernahan is there, could have got the push, not paid. Craig Bradley picks it up. Ebert's come out too far, so he's got to go deep towards Baker. Or Johnston it is. Here's Stephen Knight with a chance. Can he pick it up? Got to go round. Handball goes nowhere in particular. Stephen Williams has got the goal that Port Adelaide so desperately need, just to be able to hold up their head as they go out the gate. 4 goals, Stephen Williams. A good game from him. Yes. Port Adelaide 15-17. Glenelg 23-17.
Well, you'd have to say Stephen Williams has had a busy day. He kicked 4 goals for him by my records here, and he's been ever alert, always around the place. And Stephen Knight mucked it up a little bit. I thought he could have probably kicked it himself initially. Stephen Williams mopped up, as you call it, and a high around the corner kick found the goals.
Glenelg have made a change. Peter Carey has gone off the ground and he's been replaced by Adam Garton, but Carey's worked hard all day and will probably take a breather on the bench. Infringement in the centre square, and it will go the way of Glenelg and Adam Garton. Garton will drive towards the outer flank, half-forward flank, Stringer in front spot. He tried to tap it on. Chase will be on.
Darren Smith, first there for Port Adelaide, can't pick it up though. Gets a push in the back decision, however. Had his nose over the ball. He plays it on quickly for Bradley, who's been working all day for the Magpies. His kick over the centre, looking for Knight. Growden in front, recovers. Oh, gee, stiff tackling as usual though from the Bays. Down they go.
Tackling's been very strong by the Tigers today.
So a bounce up, almost in the centre of the ground. Port kicking with a slight breeze in this final quarter, but they've got a big job ahead of them. Tap forward. Bradley the tackle on McGuiness, but McGuiness gets it towards David Kernahan, back towards McDermott. McDermott getting into the game somewhat in this last quarter, towards Stephen Copping and Stephen Kernahan, but Smith. He's had a big job to do, but he's playing it on very quickly. Ben Harris, Tim Ginniver. Where's he going to go? Almost runs into his own player and finally gets a left foot kick towards the grandstand side, and Stephen Knight. Stephen Knight will play it on quickly. His handball was a little wild towards Brett Owens. Chance for Glenelg to get possession. And in the back, Stephen Knight.
Ross Gibbs kick.
The pressure's on and Simons kicks it over the grandstand wing. Marshall on his own. Inboard to Wayne Stringer coming up from the back. He's not going to kick another one, is he? Oh no. Darren Smith drops the sitter. Robin Kidney tackles him from behind. Too vigorous. Push in the back.
I guess he dropped what he should have taken then. It was almost unopposed, Darren Smith then.
Darren Smith comes grandstand side, and Tony Simons got his name written all over that one. A poor kick by Smith. Tony Simons indicates he'll go long.
He'll have a shot.
15th kick.
No, he's going short.
The lead's on Copping. Nice lead by Copping and a very nice disposal by Tony Simons. Stephen Copping, who today has got 2 goals so far. This will be his 10th kick. Both of his goals coming in the last quarter, which was the Bays quarter by a mile. This time he's on an acute angle. Normally a very good kick. He's put it up, it's coming back with a breeze, and you can't do much better than that, Stephen Copping. 24 goals, 17 Glenelg. Port Adelaide on 15 goals, 17.
Yes, a classical angle goal by Stephen Copping. Brought about by some good interception by Tony Simons. Darren Smith tried a long kick into Tony Simons' wing. Tony chipped in, picked up the ball, took the mark, found Stephen Copping with a very neat drop punt pass, and Stephen Copping finished it off with his 3rd goal for the game.
Coming up to the 16-minute mark of the final quarter here at Glenelg, and a great first game in the league season for the Bays. They've extended their lead in the last quarter. 39 points at the last change. Now they're 9 goals clear. Hewitt over the outer wing. Oh, lovely run. Walsh takes the mark over his head, looks for Marshall. God, Bays have got players everywhere. It's all over.
Port have stopped running.
Stephen Kernahan looks to think about a lead, but Marshall will try for the goal, and if not, it will go right into the square. 14th kick for David Marshall. He's moved into the game, particularly in the second half, and that's a boomer. 10 goals clear the Bays, 25-17 to Port's 15-17.
Well, that was a classic goal again. I mean, I've been saying this the last couple of comments I've had to make about the goals by the Tigers, but they are really kicking those long goals, post high, where nobody can get it in the road of those sort of kicks. They are just, Gavin Moss was the architect of that pass to David Marshall, and they are running right at the moment. They seem to be marking unopposed and running down the field almost at will.
Bays have added 5 goals so far at about the halfway mark of the final quarter. Hewitt going to fire the handball out wide. Simons let it go, he does. Over towards the half-forward line. Alan Stringer has got time, he's conceding ground, he ran a long way. The backup comes from Tony Simons, a nice handball to start. It will go to the pocket area, there'll be an a free kick down the ground. Simons
still Harrison.
Ducked up, disposing of that ball by Harrison. And it'll be Stephen Copping. Take another pot shot for goal. Kicked one a moment ago. He's going to go short. The lead on from Kernahan, and he'll take this. left Van Harris standing. So Stephen Kernahan directly in front. It'll be his 14th kick for the game. So far today, he's kicked 3 goals, 2 in the third quarter and 1 so far this quarter. In the air, he's taken 6 marks. 20, 30 metres out, directly in front. Another goal to Stephen Kernahan. He's got 4. Glenelg Oval there, romping away with this now. Good start to the season for themselves and Corns, 26-17 to Port Adelaide on 15-17.
Yes, it's becoming a procession. It's almost a cricket score at the moment by Glenelg, and Stephen Barrett coming up for David Marshall. And Stephen Kernahan, as the boys just indicated, kicked his 4th goal for the game from an unerring pass from Stephen Coppng.
18.5 minutes into the final quarter, and the Bays have dominated the last 3 quarters of this game. 21 goals they've kicked against Port Adelaide's 8. And that's a one-way procession. Growden tries to recover something for the Magpies. Kicks it wide, though. Nobody there except Bay jumpers. David Kernahan running on. Ginnivan had to punch it away. There's so many Bay jumpers there. So out of bounds, half-forward flank for Port Adelaide. Garton in ruck against Baker for Port Adelaide. Garton takes it out of the air, has Hewitt running for him. Hewitt short pass on for Copping, spoiled by Smith this time. Pick up by Simpson, runs into all sorts of bother. Now the chance for Henwood. Big Henwood looking for Simons, didn't come off that time.
Harrison turns, pivots and drives Port towards the centre wing. He's looking for Dwayne Russell. He'll wait for the crumbs. Russell, they won't come. They do, however, for Brent Noe. His way through, the umpire calls play on. Curtis gets it to Dwayne Russell. He'll have a shot for goal. Long kick, and he's well offline as well, and just stands and looks and says maybe next week. Port Adelaide 15-18, Glenelg 26-17.
Stephen Barrett's on the field by himself. I'll kick it to him.
So Barrett in the back pocket for Glenelg. A short pass pays off. Gavin Walsh. Glenelg can afford to play possession football. Gavin Walsh had a good game, 14 kicks to the grandstand wing. All Port Adelaide shepherding, however, against big Wayne Henwood. It's pretty hard to shepherd him. He's a big bloke.
Wayne Henwood from centre wing, grandstand side towards the pocket area. Kernahan on another lead. Going out in front of Harris. He's beaten him by 2 or 3 strides every time he's made a lead. Stephen Kernahan will drive towards the edge of the square. He came in late. I think it was Smith, looked to have his name written all over that, but Stephen Copping read the flight of the ball beautifully. This will be his 12th kick, and he's lining up for goal number 4.
Had something like 9 marks too. It's a great game, Rick.
Stephen Copping's drop punt is another one. Glenelg 27-17, that's about 179 points. Port 16-18, 108.
Once again, the Glenelg forward line's running right. They're doing as they wish. A nice mark by Stephen Kernahan over in front of the grandstand. He lined up on the edge of the square to Stephen Copping, and he pinpointed the ball virtually. As Rick was saying, though, Darren Smith appeared to have more edge on him for that particular mark, but Stephen Copping's got long arms, and all of a sudden those arms just reached out, plucked in the high ball. Another goal.
Another infringement in the square. This time it'll go to Port Adelaide, and Craig Bradley will take the kick. No, he won't. We'll leave it for Baker. It'll go to Russell Eben. He won't want to remember his Australian record-breaking game. That's the way Port are reading it today. His 433rd league game. Dwayne Russell, 14th kick. A long kick, a screw punt, will go right to the square. Ross Gibbs, little bloke in front. No, the mark's been paid to Growden, has it?
No, Ross Gibbs.
So Ross Gibbs has played a good game for the Bays.
He had more purchase on the ball.
He likes to fly, doesn't he?
He loves it.
From the back pocket, Ross Gibbs. Looking for Adam Garton. Baker over the top for Port Adelaide, couldn't take it. Simons again. Tony Simons runs it down the grandstand wing. Given protection by McDermott, finds McGuiness. McGuiness got time to turn around, boom it in. He's got a choice of Kernahan and Copping. Kernahan misses it, Copping ducks back, has a look, and he gets it. The Fantastic football by the two players there. His 5th goal, Copping's. Glenelg, 28 goals, 17. Port Adelaide, 15-18.
Stephen Copping's 3rd goal for the quarter and 5th for the game. Really running right, the Stephen Copping, Stephen Kernahan combination down there. They've kicked 5 between them this quarter, and they're just doing as they wish. And everything's running for Glenelg at the moment. 28 goals, 17 tells its own story.
All Glenelg in this final quarter at the Bay as we approach full time in the final quarter. Off hands. Gavin Walsh goes through with it. Wayne Henwood, he's had a good debut for premiership points with the Bays. Goes towards Barrett. The Bays are going backwards. There'll be a running player somewhere. There it is, Wayne Stringer. Up towards his brother Alan. Tried to tap it on, it didn't come off. He'll pick up the crumbs, however. He's sandwiched, gets it out wider towards David Kernahan, another good player for the Bays today. Onto that right boot. Up towards the full forward area. Copping's in front of Smith. Smith gets the punch away. Opportunity now for McGuiness. Nice little spin onto the left boot. Pops it around the corner. And well, there's another one. Avalanche of goals. 29-17 Glenelg. Port Adelaide, well, their history for today, 15-18.
Well, they can do no wrong, Glenelg. There's David Kernahan spearing the ball into the final line of attack. The jump ball, everyone's up in the air. Down was Tony McGuiness, who made up quick ground, plucked it out of the hands of Chris McDermott, turned it around into a goal. Remarkable shot for goal, and that's how the luck of Port Adelaide's going. They can't even stop the goals from oblique angles.
We're going to have to start looking at the record books because this could be the biggest defeat Port Adelaide have ever suffered down at the Bay. Knight pushes it forward, right to the full forward line. Duthie punches it away. Still in play, Port Adelaide back in it. Stephen Williams with a nice goal. That's a beautiful goal, and he certainly contributed today.
That's Stephen Williams' 5th goal.
It's his 12th kick.
And he's really been a lone hand in attack in the Port Adelaide attacking area. And well, he hasn't given up, and that's a few points in his favour. But you were saying, Keith, about a record score. Glenelg beat Port Adelaide by 95 points down here 2 years ago. That is the record-winning margin.
Got a bit of a way to go yet, haven't they?
Yeah, they can't quite get that today. But it might be the highest score Glenelg's ever kicked against Port Adelaide. I'd hazard to say that.
We're just into time on now. And the Bays have dominated the last 3 quarters of this game as Kidney takes it out of the middle, works his way. Somebody kicks it off the ground towards half forward. Brenton Owens, who's played well on the half-back flank for Port Adelaide, clears it, tries to find Russell Ebert, his captain, playing the record number of games in Australian football today. He can't do much. Port Adelaide can't do much at all as the Bay jumpers fall over the ball. Ball just forward of centre for Glenelg, in attack yet again. Adam Garton, the young ruckman for them, against Baker for Port Adelaide. Stephen Williams boxes one out. Russell Ebert kicks to the half-forward flank. Looking for Growden, can't find him. Tony Simons again, always finds room. Stephen Knight against him. Moves it on, McGuiness. Oh, back to the McGarry medal form of 82, no doubt about that.
McGuinness's through punt, left kick, right to the square almost. Another chance for Stephen Copping. There's nobody. He's missed that one. Rare to see Glenelg miss in the latter half of this game. They're 29 goals, 18 now, Port, yep. 16-18.
And prior to that miss, they'd kicked 9 goals straight this quarter. It's remarkable, isn't it, football?
Tremendous courage there by Growden to get across. Hard mark to take late in the game. His 5th kick for the day gets it to the grandstand wing. Baker could have been paid the mark. Out comes Dwayne Russell. Big kick forward, one-on-one here. Anderson against Kernahan.
Playing a fine game, David Kernahan.
Certainly won that wing.
16th kick goes out wide towards Mark Hewitt. Taps it in front of him. Beat Ginniver to the ball. He's got time. Go over the top to Ross Gibbs. Well, of the defenders for Glenelg now getting right upfield. A lot of confidence to Tony Simons. He'll run into the goals. Onto the right boot. He lines him up. And there's another one. That's goal number 30 for Glenelg. 30 goals, 18. Port Adelaide 16-18. An avalanche of goals by the Bays, but that's the 20th kick for Simons. It's not their biggest score down here because they kicked 49 goals, 23 on 1975 against Centrals.
I'd have to say it'd be Glenelg's biggest score against Port Adelaide, though, without question. 30 goals, 18. I'm pretty sure of that one. And Tony Simons on the wrong side of the ground then, but so what? He took the mark and kicked the goal.
All the Bays in this first game of the season Big percentage win coming up as well. The smash by Baker towards their half-forward line. It's rarely been down this end at all for Port. Dawson will win the free kick. Play allowed to go on. Growden's off. He's playing advantage. Kick, a shocker. Lucky to even get a point by Growden, and even he can't believe it. So another minor score for Port. 16-19 they are. Glenelg 30-18.
Actually, David Growden stopped in his tracks thinking the ball would be brought back to the free kick position, but the advantage being played.
Great kick out by Duthie. Simons high on the wing here. Tony Hall on to Simons again. Simons kicked to half forward. Curtis is in front. Spot McGuiness chips in front of him though and takes it over. Turns beautifully. There's the style. Looking for Henwood. He's a big man. And out comes the ball for Port Adelaide. Working hard. Curtis on to Harrison. Harrison takes it through the centre. In the way, John C.
Glenelg players running. Seabohm goes for the long handball towards David Kernahan. Adam Garton chips in. There's yellow and black jumpers everywhere. Hewitt's made a rare mistake, but he'll tap it on towards Garton. He picks up now. No, he's dropped it. Socket off the ground. Tapped by Bradley. Stephen Williams finally will see a ball up. Glenelg had another big opportunity there to go into attack. Maybe a little bit keen now, wanting to go before they've actually got hold of the ball.
Well, at one stage in this game, Port Adelaide were more than 4 goals up, and now we see an amazing scene. I think even the Bay supporters would be just a little surprised to find themselves 14 goals clear as we go to the 29-minute mark of the last quarter. David Kernahan yet again. Played on quickly to McDermott. Henwood. Whoa, he ducks and weaves. He's fast for a big man. Little short chip to Stringer. He can't pick it up. Oh, dives over the ball. Now the ball's moved forward by Wayne Stringer. Kidney turning, got a high one. Play it on, says the umpire. Alan Stringer. Hewitt gets a goal. Unbelievable. 31 goals, 18. Support 16-19.
Another 11-goal quarter by the Bays. And they're irrepressible at the moment. Here's Mark Hewitt coming up from his half-back flank. He's the second half-back player to kick a goal today. Wayne Stringer early in the piece jagged one. Alan Stringer fed it over, unopposed. Mark Hewitt left-footed it through. They're making a mockery of this last quarter.
Back to the centre of the ground. Garton and Baker. Baker got the tap. Ginniver streaks away for Port Adelaide. Goes short towards player there is Stephen Williams, who's been one of the contributors in the Port side, along with this fella Ginniver. Towards Greg Anderson. Can he break away? His left foot kicks a wobbly old one, but he's found Bradley. No, over Bradley's head. He picks up. Turns. He's going to have a look and come back towards Greg Anderson. He sits down to take the mark. He'll be at centre-half forward position, and this will just be practice.
Port Adelaide
kick.
Port Adelaide have added just 2 goals in this last quarter against the Bays 11. And they've had what little breeze there is. Perfect conditions. And Anderson from centre-half forward lines it up and it drifts away, and that's been the story all day for the Magpies. 16-20 now to Glenelg's 31-18.
Yes, well, that shot for goal is only for academic purposes. The game was well over even when this last quarter started, unfortunately for Port. And Glenelg have really run right this last quarter.
Harrison's getting over the shoulder there of Tony Simons, and Simons will take the free kick on this grandstand side. Little big crowd here, Bay supporters. They've had a great opening to the season. Alan Stringer, mark not paid, they call play on. He's held on to. Didn't have possession. The umpire will pay that to Alan Stringer in the centre of the ground. Stephen Knight a little frustrated.
Yes.
Now's not the time to be.
That's all it can be, frustration at this stage.
So Alan Stringer's got McGuiness over here all by himself. There are 3 Bay players. McDermott, I think Port must have gone home. McDermott will go over the top. McGuiness takes it off the body of Barrett, gives it across to Hewitt. This could be Hewitt's second. No, he's going to give it back to McGuiness. And the great start to the season by the Bays. 31 goals, 18, 204 points, defeating Port Adelaide on 16 goals, 20.
for David Marshall. And Stephen Kernahan, as the boys just indicated, kicked his 4th goal for the game from an unerring pass from Stephen Coppng.
18.5 minutes into the final quarter, and the Bays have dominated the last 3 quarters of this game. 21 goals they've kicked against Port Adelaide's 8. And that's a one-way procession. Growden tries to recover something for the Magpies. Kicks it wide, though. Nobody there except Bay jumpers. David Kernahan running on. Geneva had to punch it away. There's so many Bay jumpers there. They're out of bounds, half-forward flank for Port Adelaide. Garton in ruck against Baker for Port Adelaide. Garton takes it out of the air, has Hewitt running for him. Hewitt short pass on for Copping, spoiled by Smith this time. Pick up by Simpson, runs into all sorts of bother. Now the chance for Henwood. Big Henwood looking for Simons, didn't come off that time.
Harrison turns, pivots and drives Port towards the centre wing. He's looking for Dwayne Russell. He'll wait for the crumbs. Russell, they won't come. They do, however, for Brent Noe. His way through, the umpire calls play on. Curtis gets it to Dwayne Russell. He'll have a shot for goal. Long kick, and he's well offline as well, and just stands and looks and says maybe next week. Port Adelaide 15-18, Glenelg 26-17.
Stephen Barrett's on the field by himself. I'll kick it to him.
So Barrett in the back pocket for Glenelg. A short pass pays off. Gavin Walsh. Glenelg can afford to play possession football. Gavin Walsh had a good game, 14 kicks. The grandstand wing. All Port Adelaide. Shepherding, however, against big Wayne Henwood. It's pretty hard to shepherd him. He's a big bloke.
Wayne Henwood from centre wing, grandstand side, towards the pocket area. Kernahan on another lead. Going out in front of Harris. He's beaten him by 2 or 3 strides every time he's made a lead. Stephen Kernahan will drive towards the edge of the square. Copping, he came in late. I think it was Smith looked to have his name written all over that, but Stephen Copping read the flight of the ball beautifully. This will be his 12th kick, and he's lining up for goal number 4.
Had something like 9 marks too. It's a great game, Rick.
Stephen Copping's drop punt is another one. Glenelg 27-17, that's about 179 points. Port 16-18, 108.
Once again, the Glenelg forward line's running right. They're doing as they wish. A nice mark by Stephen Kernahan over in front of the grandstand. He lined up on the edge of the square to Stephen Copping, and he pinpointed the ball virtually. As Rick was saying, though, Darren Smith appeared to have more edge on him for that particular mark, but Stephen Copping's got long arms, and all of a sudden those arms just reached out, plucked in the high ball. Another goal.
Another infringement in the square. This time it'll go to Port Adelaide, and Craig Bradley will take the kick. No, he won't. We'll leave it for Baker. It'll go to Russell even. He won't want to remember his Australian record-breaking game. That's the way Port are reading it today. His 433rd league game. Dwayne Russell, 14th kick. A long kick, a screw punt, will go right to the square. Ross Gibbs, little bloke in front. No, the mark's been paid to Growden, has it?
No, Ross Gibbs.
So Ross Gibbs has played a good game for the Bays.
He had more purchase on the ball.
He likes to fly, doesn't he?
He loves it.
From the back pocket, Ross Gibbs. Looking for Adam Garton. Baker over the top for Port Adelaide, couldn't take it. Simons again. Tony Simons runs it down the grandstand wing. Given protection by McDermott, finds McGuiness. McGuiness got time to turn around, boom it in. He's got a choice of Kernahan and Copping. Kernahan misses it, Copping ducks back, has a look, and he gets it! Fantastic football by the 2 players there. His 5th goal, Copping's. Glenelg, 28 goals, 17. Port Adelaide, 15-18.
Stephen Copping's 3rd goal for the quarter and 5th for the game. Really running right, the Stephen Copping, Stephen Kernahan combination down there. They've kicked 5 between them this quarter, and they're just doing as they wish. And everything's running for Glenelg at the moment. 28 goals, 17 tells its own story.
All Glenelg in this final quarter at the Bay as we approach full time in the final quarter. Off hands. Gavin Walsh goes through with it. Wayne Henwood, he's had a good debut for premiership points with the Bays. Goes towards Barrett. The Bays are going backwards. There'll be a running player somewhere. There it is, Wayne Stringer, up towards his brother Alan. Tried to tap it on, it didn't come off. He'll pick up the crumbs, however. He's sandwiched, gets it out wider towards David Kernahan, another good player for the Bays today. Onto that right boot, up towards the full forward area. Copping's in front of Smith. Smith gets the punch away. Opportunity now for McGuiness. Nice little spin onto the left boot. Pops it around the corner. And well, there's another one. Avalanche of goals. 29-17 Glenelg. Port Adelaide, well, their history for today, 15-18.
Well, they can do no wrong, Glenelg. There's David Kernahan spearing the ball into the final line of attack. The jump ball, everyone's up in the air. Down was Tony McGuiness, who made up quick ground, plucked it out of the hands of Chris McDermott, turned it around into a goal. Remarkable shot for goal, and that's how the luck of Port Adelaide's going. They can't even stop the goals from oblique angles.
We're going to have to start looking at the record books, because this could be the biggest defeat Port Adelaide have ever suffered down at the Bay. Knight pushes it forward, right to the full forward line. Duthie punches it away. Still in play, Port Adelaide back in it. Stephen Williams with a nice goal. That's a beautiful goal, and he certainly contributed today.
That's Stephen Williams' 5th goal.
It's his 12th kick.
And he's really been a lone hand in attack in the Port Adelaide attacking area. And well, he hasn't given up, and that's a few points in his favour. But you were saying, Keith, about a record score. Glenelg beat Port Adelaide by 95 points down here 2 years ago. That is the record-winning margin.
Got a bit of a way to go yet, haven't they?
Yeah, they can't quite get that today. But it might be the highest score Glenelg's ever kicked against Port Adelaide. I'd hazard to say that.
We're just into time on now. And the Bays have dominated the last 3 quarters of this game as Kidney takes it out of the middle, works his way. Somebody kicks it off the ground towards half-forward. Brenton Owens, who's played well on the half-back flank for Port Adelaide, clears it. Tries to find Russell Ebert, his captain, playing the record number of games in Australian football today. He can't do much. Port Adelaide can't do much at all, as the Bay jumpers fall over the ball. Ball just forward of centre for Glenelg, in attack yet again. Adam Garton, the young ruckman for them, against Baker for Port Adelaide. Stephen Williams boxes one out. Russell Ebert kicks to the half-forward flank. Looking for Growden, can't find him. Tony Simons again. Always finds room. Stephen Knight against him. Moves it on, McGuiness. Oh, back to the McGarry medal form of 82, no doubt about that.
McGuinness's through punt, left kick, right to the square almost. Another chance for Stephen Copping. There's nobody. He's missed that one. Rare to see Glenelg miss in the latter half of this game. They're 29 goals, 18 now, Port, yep. 16-18.
And prior to that miss, they'd kicked 9 goals straight this quarter. It's remarkable, isn't it, football?
Tremendous courage there by Growden to get across. Hard mark to take late in the game. His 5th kick for the day gets it to the grandstand wing. Baker could have been played to mark. Out comes Dwayne Russell. Big kick forward, one-on-one here. Anderson against Kernahan.
Playing a fine game, David Kernahan.
Certainly won that wing.
16th kick goes out wide towards Mark Hewitt. Taps it in front of him. Beat Ginniver to the ball. He's got time. Go over the top to Ross Gibbs. Well, the defenders for Glenelg now getting right upfield. A lot of confidence to Tony Simons. He'll run into the goals. Onto the right boot. He lines him up. And there's another one. That's goal number 30 for Glenelg. 30 goals, 18. Port Adelaide 16-18. An avalanche of goals by the Bays, but that's the 20th kick for Simons. It's not their biggest score down here because they kicked 49 goals, 23 on 1975 against Centrals.
I'd have to say it'd be Glenelg's biggest score against Port Adelaide, though, without question. 30 goals, 18. I'm pretty sure of that one. And Tony Simons was on the wrong side of the ground then, but so what? He took the mark and kicked the goal.
All the Bays in this first game of the season. Big percentage win coming up as well. The smash by Baker towards their half-forward line. It's rarely been down this end at all for Port. Dawson will win the free kick. Play allowed to go on. Growden's off. He's playing space. Kick. A shocker. Lucky to even get a point by Growden. And even he can't believe it. So another minor score for Port. 16-19 they are. Glenelg 30-18.
Actually, David Growden stopped in his tracks thinking the ball would be brought back to the free kick position, but the advantage being played.
Great kick out by Duthie. Simons high on the wing here. Tony Hall onto Simons again. Simon's kicked to half forward. Curtis is in front. Spot McGuiness chips in front of him though and takes it over. Turns beautifully. There's the style. Looking for Henwood. He's a big man. And out comes the ball for Port Adelaide. Working hard. Curtis onto Harrison. Harrison takes it through the centre. In the way, John C.
Glenelg players running. Seabohm goes for the long handball towards David Kernahan. Adam Garton chips in. There's yellow and black jumpers everywhere. Hewitt's made a rare mistake, but he'll tap it on towards Garton. He picks up now. No, he's dropped it. Sock it off the ground. Tapped by Bradley. Stephen Williams finally will see a ball up. Glenelg had another big opportunity there to go into attack. Maybe a little bit keen now, wanting to go before they've actually got hold of the ball.
Well, at one stage in this game, Port Adelaide were more than 4 goals up, and now we see an amazing scene. I think even the Bay supporters would be just a little surprised to find themselves 14 goals clear as we go to the 29-minute mark of the last quarter. David Kernahan, yet again. Played on quickly to McDermott. Henwood. Whoa, he ducks and weaves. He's fast for a big man. Little short chip to Stringer. He can't pick it up. Oh, dives over the ball. Now the ball's moved forward by Wayne Stringer. Kidney turning, got a high one. Play it on, says the umpire. Alan Stringer. Hewitt gets a goal. Unbelievable. 31 goals, 18 to Port 16-19.
Another 11-goal quarter by the Bays, and they're irrepressible at the moment. There's Mark Hewitt coming up from his half-back flank. He's the second half-back player to kick a goal today. Wayne Stringer early in the piece, Jag one. Alan Stringer fed it over, unopposed. Mark Hewitt left-footed it through. They're making a mockery of this last quarter.
Back to the centre of the ground. Garton and Baker. Baker got the tap. Ginniver streaks away for Port Adelaide. Goes short towards player there is Stephen Williams, who's been one of the contributors in the Port side, along with this fella Ginniver. Towards Greg Anderson. Can he break away? His left foot kicks a wobbly old one, but he's found Bradley. No, over Bradley's head. He picks up. Turns. He's going to have a look and come back towards Greg Anderson. He sits down to take the mark. He'll be at centre-half forward position, and this will just be practice.
Port Adelaide
kick.
Port Adelaide have added just 2 goals in this last quarter against the Bays 11. And they've had what little breeze there is. Perfect conditions. And Anderson from centre-half forward lines it up and it drifts away, and that's been the story all day for the Magpies. 16-20 now to Glenelg's 31-18.
Yes, well, that shot for goal is only for academic purposes. The game was well over, even when this last quarter started, unfortunately for Port. And Glenelg are really run right this last quarter.
Harrison's getting over the shoulder there of Tony Simons, and Simons will take the free kick on this grandstand side. Little big crowd here, Bay supporters. They've had a great opening to the season. Alan Stringer, mark not paid. They call play on. He's held on to. Didn't have possession. The umpire will pay that to Alan Stringer in the centre of the ground. Stephen Knight a little frustrated. Yes. Now's not the time to be.
That's all it can be, frustration at this stage.
So Alan Stringer's got McGuiness over here all by himself.
And
There are 3 Bay players. McDermott. I think Port must have got home. McDermott will go over the top. McGuiness takes it off the body of Barrett. Gives it across to Hewitt. This could be Hewitt's second. No, he's going to give it back to McGuiness. And great start to the season by the Bays. 31 goals, 18. 204 points. Defeating Port Adelaide on 16 goals, 20.